Hello everyone! How are we doing today? It's been a bit since I streamed, hasn't it? Sorry, I meant to play this one last week, but it got pushed off a little bit. But hey, look, we're playing it now. It's okay. This is Please Be Happy, a Yuri visual novel. This is only the demo though, so I'm gonna get as far as it'll let me today. Hopefully it will let me get pretty far. And I apologize if my voice sounds a little off. I've been battling it being my voice, just battling it. nothing happened. This music is just so soothing. I could listen to this forever. I also, actually, I do want to, oh, give me a second. I want to close it out. I want you to hear the sound at the beginning of this. Hold on. I gotta open up Steam again, too. Because there's like a little voice clip at the beginning of it, and it's so cute. You have to hear this.
Please be happy.
It's what the heck? It is so cute. Sorry, my Steam page opened there for a second. There we go. So thank you, Lucy. I recognize that profile picture. Hi. God, it's just, the music is so good. So, I don't know if you can see him here in the background very well, but on the left is, I think, oh, I gotta pull up the page. Her name is Aspen. Aspen's a human girl in love with words and stories. A barista at the Bell House Cafe, she dreams of being a popular author someday. She tries to take a little inspiration from every person she meets. She has a long hour phone call with her mom every single weekend. And her voice actress is Anna Chloe Mori. On the right, you'll see Juliet. As a vampire, Juliet is one of Wellington's oldest residents. She's made the treasures of her life open to all in the form of a library. Aside from books, she also provides wisdom, kindness, and shelter to those who needs it. She dislikes having to resort to echolocation to find her reading glasses. And her voice actress is Shara Kirby. Then the character that we play as, who you haven't seen yet, but you may have seen in the thumbnail for the game, or this video, is the one with the cute ears. Her name is Miho. She's the character that we play as, I believe. Miho's earliest memories of her are Miho's earliest memories are of her time as a fox and the kind human that she met back then. Now she's more than just a fox. She spent her life searching for that person. Her journey has brought her to a new life in Wellington, New Zealand. Ooh, New Zealand. She changes her name every time she goes to a new country. Her previous names include Gumi, Migu, and Mimi. And her voice actress, you may have heard her before on this site that I stream on, YouTube, Datovu. I'll get done with my spiel now. Oh my god, they're so cute! Sorry. Look at them! I could have switched to this page. On the left is Aspen, on the middle is Miho, and on the right is Juliet. Oh, they are so adorable! Oh my gosh.
You'd like to tell me a story? Please, go ahead.
Oh my god! Fog settled over the forest, far from villages and towns, and it came with silence. Birch trees shivered, pondering the weather, and dropped their leaves in fright. Streams bubbled, unseen by man, and babbled like the birds in the trees. In the middle of the forest was a grove, and in the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen, and once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death was home to an abundance of life. A line of frantic ants ran to and fro. This game is going to test my reading abilities. Mushrooms, cloud-like and pillowy, sprouted across one side like a footpath for fairies. Nearby, an old toad flopped contentedly in the mud. And inside the deep, damp hollow of the tree, something slept. A traveler strolled strolled into the grove. Their steps were slow and tired, and they spotted the log with relief, like meeting an old friend. Weary from the day's journey, the travelers sat to take a rest. Whoosh! A scrabbling of nails on rotten wood, and a shadow bolted from inside the log to the tall grass nearby. The traveler watched as the brush rustle as a faint patch of fur appeared within. "Hello there, friend. I didn't mean to disturb you." They held their hand towards the grass, offering a piece of dried fish. At first, there was no reaction, and then, first a snout appeared, quivering as it tested the air. Then followed the rest of the fox, sleek and tawny, as she took several slow steps forward. Her amber eyes were alight with mistrust, but also with wild, wild curiosity. The strangers sat unfazed, their offerings still outstretched. They dared to meet the fox's eyes, and in that glance they felt something kindred. As the fox closed her jaw around the gift, a bond was made. "Maybe we aren't so different, you and I." The traveler returned the next day, and the day after that. Each day they brought some treat for their new friend, and each day the fox's steps grew a little more trusting. That's already so cute. One day, when the traveler arrived, the fox was sitting in the clearing waiting patiently.
Hello, my friend. Have you been waiting long?
Hello. Whoa. Hi. The fox peered up at the traveler. Her amber eyes were warm and trusting. She accepted her gift of meat, gnawing it at the traveler's feet then and there. The travelers sat, imprinting into their mind the feeling of the wood beneath them, the clean air around them, and the tender bond of companionship.
Where is your home, little fox? Is it here in this grove? Or do you come to see me too?
I don't... Who are you? You can't just come in here talking like that. Oh my god. Sorry, the voice already. Wow.
This will be the last time, I'm afraid. Because I'll be going home tomorrow.
It's... Oh my god, their voice is just so... clear, I guess? Yawn. Their voice is just so clear. And yet it's airy and low at the same time. There's absolutely zero bass in it. Oh my god, it's so hot. Who's the voice actor for Traveler?
Home is such a small place compared to the rest of the world.
Oh my god. I don't know why. It reminds me of like a much lower pitched Haruhi Fujioka from Ouran High School Host Club dub. Caitlin Glass is her voice actor. I actually met Caitlin Glass.
I can't wait to return to. I wish I could bring you with me, little friend. I wish that you could see the world too.
With you, I would gladly go.
It's all around me though, isn't it? It's wherever the trees are, wherever the leaves fall. Little fox, perhaps it's you who's the more fortunate of the two of us.
I'm just fortunate to be in your presence. No, I'm no longer in your presence. All too soon, it was time for the traveler to go. As they bade goodbye to the forest and to the fox, they knew that they would not return, but that they would carry the memories with them always. The next day, the fox was sitting in the clearing, waiting patiently. No! Come back!
We've now docked at
Oh.
Wellington Skyport. Thank you for flying with Yuri Airlines, and we hope to see you again.
Right, we're in New Zealand. The intercom's announcement is muffled in the closet where I'm hiding, just like the clatter of the seatbelts and the chattering of passengers getting ready to disembark. Hello! Oh, you are adorable! Look at your pearls! What? Oh my god, what a fashion sense! And I love the blue tints at the edge of the hair, whereas like around the face, it's much more of like a purple tint. Oh, that is so nice. This art style is so nice. Reminds me of a game I played a long, long time ago. It's discontinued by now, but Oh, you changed your profile pic now. I wiggle around impatiently, sore from crouching in here for... I don't even know how long it's been. Hours for sure. The last few minutes always feel like they take the longest. Can we take a drink of water? You did change your PFP. I don't recognize what to, but... A parade of footsteps begins to pass outside my door. It's time. I listen carefully, waiting for a gap in the crowd. When it comes, I stand up and push the door open in a single movement. I give a wink to the shocked-looking lady that I step out in front of. She doesn't even have time to gasp before I'm out of her sight. Oh, it's the same one as your one on Discord. Nice. I'll recognize you even easier. Humans. They're always kind of slow. I nod at the smiling flight attendant and pass her by, then throw up my hood to cover my face. Oh my god. Look at her. What is that she's got on her shoulder? That is so cute. I love her hoodie though. Gives her a much different look. Of course I remember you. It's been a while since I last flew, but it doesn't seem like things have changed much. It's always been harder to sneak on than it has been to sneak off. I follow the crowd to the end of the walkway and step out onto the ground. After a long stretch, I take a deep breath to savor the fresh air after being stowed away for so long. Wellington Skyport, New Zealand.
I made it.
My breathless voice joins the pleasant hum of the Skyport. Oh my god! MC is so cute! Look at her! Oh my god. Sorry, I'm just admiring this art so hard right now. A few clouds lazily drift overhead, almost within arm's reach. The sound of the waves rolling onto the shore is like a lullaby. It makes me want to burrow into the sand and take a nap. I like the made-up language on everything. Very cool. But I can't. First, I need to get out of here. And there's one more challenge ahead. Up ahead, the snaking line of passengers splits as people are funneled into a few security stations. While I'm too far back to hear what the guards are saying, it looks like they're examining a little booklet from each traveler before letting them pass. Humans sure like processes and procedures. I definitely don't have a little booklet like that. Glancing around, I hope to find another way out. An open window would work, or even just an unguarded exit. I'm pretty sneaky when I need to be. Unfortunately, it looks like the only way to leave is to go through security. Without any other option, I join one of the lines and prepare myself. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. The line moves briskly as passengers are cleared one after another, and I'm almost at the front of the queue before I know it. As the passenger in front of me approaches the booth, I listen closely.
Good afternoon. Passport, please.
Right here. It's good to be home.
I'm sure. Welcome back.
He stamps something in the man's booklet and hands it back to him. Then he continues on out of the skyport.
Next.
That's me. I don't know what they would do to people without any papers, but I don't think I want to find out. I'm sure it involves a lot of questions, being escorted around, and other unpleasant stuff. Casually approaching the gate, I put on my brightest, friendliest smile while keeping a slight distance. With my breathing steady and calm, or with my breathing steady and my tail calm, I'm sure I put on a convincing act.
Passport, please.
Of course.
I fumble around in my pockets, pretending to look for my passport. Instead, I grab the useless, clunky phone I've been carrying around and let it clatter to the ground at the guard's feet. As expected, he bends down to retrieve it for me.
Oh, let me get that for you.
And I make a run for it, bolting ahead and rushing past the security booths as quickly as I can.
Hey, you wait.
Stop!
Stressed guard? Yeah, I bet it would be stressful. Never mind. I can't say anything. By the time they realized what's happened, I've already got a few seconds head start. My inhuman speed combined with the natural chaos of the skyport should buy me a lot of time. Or buy me a bit of time. I need more water. Still, I've got to get them off my tail. They've got a whole map? Oh my god? Oh my god, do you see these little like clouds in the top? That is so neat, I love it. Dashing through the skyport doors and out into the road outside, I don't even have time to take in the city. Without stopping for breath, I run into the narrow streets while weaving between cars and shocked bystanders. Being seen by so many people like this is annoying, but it won't matter by tomorrow. Putting the thought out of my mind, I vault over a low wall into a nearby alley and land in a crouch. Out of sight, but only for a moment, I close my eyes and relax my muscles. All feeling disappears except a slight warmth against my neck. My secret weapon. The unremarkable looking necklace is one of my only possessions, and by far the most important. The oddly heavy beads strung around my neck begin to heat up in response to my will, a soothing warmth flowing through my body. My hands and feet begin to morph first, the fur chasing at my arms and legs as they distort and shorten. This sensation was so bizarre the first few times I tried. It's amazing how it's become second nature by now. Closing my eyes, I let my body and my head shift in turn. The face is always a little uncomfortable, once my once human-like face shifting and lengthening into a snout with some difficulty. The process is complete after barely a few seconds. I open my eyes not as a human, but as a fox. Oh, she's cute like that too! I dart away without a second thought, far quicker on 4 legs than I could ever be on 2. Obstacles like the stack of garbage cans ahead would be a pain to get past as a human. Ooh, yawning, whoa. But instead, I'm able to flit between the gaps without slowing down. Sounds like this security guard hasn't given up on me yet. I pick up the pace, running as fast as my paws will take me. His heavy breathing gets farther and farther away, and in just a minute or two, I know I'm safe. I don't know where I am, but it's not like I knew where I was when I started running. I almost feel bad for the guy who was chasing me. He never stood a chance. Look at the pride flags in the background! Hello? Even in the crowded city streets, there's no way anyone or anything can outrun me. The wind just wishes it could keep up with me. Comfortable that the danger's past, I slip into another alley. Once I'm sure I'm alone, I close my eyes and concentrate on the form I want to take once more. That familiar flowing warmth runs through me again, my body stretching and deforming at my command. A few seconds later, I open my eyes to glance at my human hands.
Better luck next time.
Brushing the dust off my jacket and hands, I nonchalantly stroll out of the alleyway and back onto the street. The odd person walks by on this errand or another, not paying any attention to me. Just the way I like it.
Left, right, past turn, left.
Mapping out my path in my head, I look for a way to the main roads. It'll be easier to get my bearings from there. I pick turns at random without any real destination in mind. When I decided to make the journey to Wellington, it was pretty impulsive. I'd overheard another pair of travelers talking about it and how beautiful of a city it is. With a moment now to take in the scenery, I can see that they weren't wrong. The streets around here seem like a mix of homes and businesses. Everything is very colorful. Even the brick walls are covered in pictures and paint. In the distance, I can see green hills that are lined with houses, as well as green hills that are completely empty. There are a lot of hills now that I look around some. Pride flag! Look at the... Very cool, very cool. From just a few streets away, the sound of pedestrians and busy intersections floats my way. I head in its direction, taking shortcuts through yards and driveways when it's convenient. I'm distracted by all the flowers. In one lawn, a big dog growls at me as I walk past. But when I transform and growl right back, he tucks his tail in and runs away. After squeezing through one last narrow side street, I finally emerge onto what looks like a main road. There's no cars here, but tons of people on foot. There are brightly colored signs and decorations on most of the buildings. In the middle of the street, there are fountains and benches and trees and all kinds of stuff. The best part is the variety of stores. When I stroll past a few of the windows and peek in, I can tell that I'm already going to be able to do most of my shopping around here. There are stores with food, with clothes, with just about everything else. I don't have any money on me, but that isn't exactly a problem. What is a problem is that it's too crowded. Dodging a couple of security guards is one thing, but trying to escape down a busy street with lots of people could be too much even for me. I'll just have to remember where this place is and make another visit later when all the shops are closed. Then, a man in a bright coat hurries past me, talking loudly on his phone in a language I don't recognize. He's so distracted that he doesn't even notice when his wallet falls right out of his pocket and onto the sidewalk. I notice, of course. Seeing an opportunity, I zip over and snatch it up. Prying open the black leather pockets, I find a couple of bills and what I figure is the local currency. I slide the money out and into the pocket of my jacket. By now, the man is so far ahead, he's almost out of sight. I have to hurry to catch up to him and give him back his wallet. And he barely even says thank you.
I should have just kept the whole thing.
It's only fair that I get a little something for myself, since it's not like he would have gotten it back without me. I head back to my bench and inspect my prize. That's 15, I think. A blue bill and a brown one. These feel sturdy. Nothing like the paper I expected.
1, 0, 10, and 5. So 15.
Good job, you got it. 15 isn't much. I definitely should have kept the whole wallet. Oh well, at least this should be enough to buy myself something to drink. My thirst is starting to get the better of me, as I haven't had anything since I snuck onto the airship. Following my nose, I walk down the busy street until I find one of the many cafes lining the paths. The sign hanging above its front door has a picture of a bell on it. Oh my gosh, do we meet girl number 1 here? Do we meet our little Aspen? And look at all, God, this is so nice. I've never been to a cafe that looks this nice before. Like, what? A charming little chime rings out from above the door when I enter. I can't help but savor the wave of refreshing, cool air washing over me, which is all the better after so much running.
Hiya! Welcome to the Bell House.
Hi! I was expecting Aspen. You were not who I was expecting. The barista behind the counter is the only other person in the store right now. As I nod in greeting, she leans forward with a cup in one hand and a pen in the other.
What can I get you? We're having a special on affogatos if you want to try one. Usually, they're like $7, but today, they're only 5. I'd like a...
I'm not sure what an affogato is. Isn't that a vegetable? Not wanting to commit to the strange sounding drink, I look at the menu instead. Unfortunately, it's full of handwritten, spindly letters. I can't read a single word, and there are no helpful pictures. Safe option it is.
I'll just have a vanilla latte. Boring. But okay. Name? Mio.
It's my first time testing out how that name sounds, and I decide that I like it. I decided on the airship that the name I would use here that that was the name I would use here in Wellington. I've used so many names throughout my life, I can't remember most of them. For each new city I visit, I come up with something new. Foxes don't have any use for names, so nobody ever gave me one. She scribbles something on a cup with a black marker. If that's how this name looks, then I'm even more pleased with it.
$4.50, please.
I hand her the brown bill, and she gives me back a big coin with a picture of a boat on it.
All right. I'll have this ready for you in no time.
She sure seems enthusiastic. I cannot read. This game is testing me so bad. I nod as she spins around and starts working. Looking for somewhere to sit, I decide on a seat by the window with the sun pouring in. God, it's so pretty. Near the entrance of the cafe, there's a wire rack with a stack of maps and tourist pamphlets. So I grab one of the maps before taking my seat. The cafe is big and bright, with plants everywhere. They're on the walls, on the floor, and on the ceiling. Oh my god, hello? There we go. Most of them are real and vibrant, obviously being well cared for. Even the lights that hang down from the ceiling have glass ornaments with little shrubs in them. Seems like I made a good choice coming here. Any place with a bit of nature in it is more comfortable to me than places without.
I guess I should find a place to stay.
Looking down to the map I took, I traced the path I made from the port to the cafe. It's useful, but it doesn't really tell me anything helpful about the houses in particular. I'll need to find a higher vantage point. I move my finger along the hills as hills that I noticed from outside, following a little brown path to the patch of green with a little mountain icon. That should work for now. My ears perk up right as the barista arrives and places my drink in front of me.
Thanks.
I reach over and take the warm cup in my hands, but the barista doesn't let go.
You ready for the rain tomorrow? Huh? It's gonna rain tomorrow.
I glance behind me out the window. It's as sunny and blue as a day I've ever seen.
How do you know that? There aren't any clouds out there. I'm just good with the weather. Anyway, if you forget, then you'll be sorry.
She finally lets go of my drink and heads back behind the counter. That was so ominous. All the music disappeared. I'm guessing that we're gonna be out, like, in the storm, out in the mountains, and tragedy will strike, or something of that ilk. People are weird. Does the barista pull that on everyone? Standing on the doorstep, I have my first sip.
Oh, this is really good.
It's pretty plain, but well made. The coffee isn't too bitter, which is perfect for me. With a moment to myself, my thoughts turn inwards as I sip the warm drink. My first travels were in search of someone, but despite my whole life spent trying, I haven't made any progress in finding them. So, I've taken to simply wandering, going wherever I wish at the time. That sounds a little like someone we know. Wolf Treat, right? Doesn't that sound a lot like Trick? I think that's a lot like their journey too. Oh, and they're both foxes. Wait, is Trick? Trick isn't a fox. Are they? I forget. I'd been itching for a change of scenery anyway, so I snuck onto the first airship that I could. The best part about owning nothing but my clothes on my back is that I can pick up and leave whenever I feel like it. I take a moment to get my bearings and look around. I see a tired-looking person shuffling along the far footpath with a briefcase in their hands. They stop outside one of the buildings, take a deep breath, pat their face a couple of times, and then go inside. They must not be looking forward to whatever's gonna happen in there. Maybe they have to fight someone. Through the large glass windows of another store, a fawn is trying on a pair of shoes, but they don't seem to fit her hooves. The people waiting with her look annoyed. I wonder if she fusses around with her footwear a lot. For a while, I simply let the day roll by and watch the various figures who stroll by. People watching is fun, especially in a busy city. Eventually, I go to sip my coffee. only to find nothing coming out. With no more reason to stick around, it's time to go. Out on the sunlit street. Is somebody... For a second, I thought somebody was calling me. My phone was buzzing. Is somebody calling me? Stop it. Stop buzzing my phone. On the sunlit street, I look about to match what I can see with the map's directions. There's a tall, green mountain in the distance ahead of me, which must be the one on the map. It'll be a perfect vantage point for the city. Ideally, I'd like to find an empty building I could crash in, but that's not necessary. A roof over my head would be nice, but I'm plenty used to sleeping outside under the stars. Sometimes it's better than sleeping in a bed. Encouraged by the plan forming in my head, I set off on the long walk to the summit. Okay, so we were about here. So we've gone all the way over here. Sketchbook. Yawn, 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 yawn. Why am I so yawny today? What the heck? The path to the mountain turns out to be a less simple one than the map made out. First, a trail takes me alongside the waterfront, and then it turns upwards through a small forested area. Being among trees and their tall shadows makes me feel at home. When the path leaves the woods again, I'm a little disappointed. It leads up a paved road, so I stick to the edge to avoid passing cars. Sometimes I take shortcuts through yards or up unmarked paths. There are quite a few nice-looking homes right along the roadside. I make a mental note to check them out when I'm low on money or food. Not much further along, a concrete lookout offers another glimpse of the city below. A couple airships are coming in to dock at the skyport, probably from another one of the floating islands. Floating islands? Oh, maybe it means like floating in the water, not floating in the sky. There's still a ways to go to walk to the top of the mountain, but luckily, it's been easy so far. I wouldn't even consider it a hike. Eventually, I reach the final stretch of the road, and I can see where it curves ahead to the summit, and I hurry to the end. Ooh. A metal railing spreads out like a crown on top of the mountain. As I go to toss my empty cup away, a pair of chatting tourists pass me by.
How far is it from here?
Well, about an hour from the base of Mount Victoria, so a bit further from here.
Mount Victoria.
I'm glad to know what this place is called. I say the name out loud to help commit it to memory. Standing at the edge, I'm treated to a wonderful view of Wellington. Oh my god, it is. The city forms a crescent moon shape around the bay, which glitters like a sapphire from up here. The sun is starting to set, and that makes the water even more shimmery. Even more airships can be seen coming and going. I think that I can even see the edge of a floating island we're on, miles out into the open sky. Oh, we are in the sky? I survey the city using the skyport as a reference point. From up here, what felt like such a long chase really didn't look so far at all. If I strain my eyes, I think I can even see the coffee shop from earlier. What was it the barista said it was called? The Bell House? It's kind of tough to make out details. My hearing and sense of smell may be great, but my eyes really aren't that much better than a human's. Then I notice something useful.
Look! Is that our house?
Probably. What can you see from here?
I see Dad's car!
Not too far away, there's a little kid who's using a pair of metal tubes attached to a post. His mom is helping him aim it at the city. That must be something that improves your vision. The moment the kid and his mom leave, I hurry over before someone else can get to it first. When I press my eyes to the same spot the child did, though all I can see is black. I try moving it around, but it doesn't change. Is this thing busted? Some text is printed on the side. I have no idea what it says. There's a small slot, though, with a picture of a coin next to it. Luckily for me, it's a coin that has a 50 on it. I put the coin that I received from the barista into the slot and spin a lever. The machine eats my coin, and when I put my eyes to it again, everything looks much closer now. Even the trees on the other side of the hill appear in crystal clear detail, like I'm standing right next to them. Is this a real image of New Zealand? 'Cause that is gorgeous. I aim the viewing glass at the city and look around, trying to find a good place to rest for the night. Houses are a no-go. Even if they look empty or abandoned, you can never let your guard down for even a minute. Same with most shops. I don't have enough money for a hotel, and I won't risk trying to sneak into one of those either. As I'm studying the sights, trying to memorize as much as I can, there's a clicking sound, and once again, the view goes black. Stupid machine. I smack it a couple of times and check again, but I still can't see anything.
Well, whatever.
While the image is fresh in my mind, I sit down at a nearby bench and pull out a pencil and some crumpled papers from my pocket. I always carry a few with me. I sort through them until I find one that's still blank. Using my knee as a table, I sketch out the view before me. The trees, the curve of the bay, the buildings far below. You never know what information will be useful later. I add more detail to my drawings of the bigger, more important buildings. Others are just represented with simple, rough squares. The view was pretty, that's for sure. It didn't really help much, though. Once I'm confident I've jotted down everything I need, I carefully fold the paper and put it back in my pocket.
Looks like I'm sleeping outside tonight. Guess this place is as good as any.
I head back down the trail a little bit and veer off into the underbrush. I think it's because I was napping not long before the stream.
Not
That's why I keep yawning.
but it'll do.
It's not exactly the wilderness, but just about everything here seems cityfied to some extent. Usually when I make a den, I prefer to find a place far from other people, a place where nobody will find me. I doubt I'll find anything perfect, but this is good enough. Hi, Abby. Oh, you got your stuff at your new, you got stuff at your new apartment. Nice.
It's fine. Can't afford to be picky.
Once the trail I was on is out of sight, I cannot read. I transform again. My neck gets warm as my beads activate, and a few seconds later I'm on all fours. Letter at evenfall. As a fox, the sensation of nature is much stronger. The earth beneath my paws is cool and refreshing, like a breeze whipping through my fur like a massage. I hurry down the hill covered in grass, so tall it can reach way over my head. I smell fresh water and follow the scent to a small stream where I'm able to parch my thirst. It's just as satisfying as the drink I got at that cafe, but in a different way. Being able to slurp up the water is way more enjoyable than having to use a straw. Or worse, one of those lids with the tiny holes. For a little while, I follow my nose to some berries and some edible plants that'll do for a snack. Unfortunately, unlike the water, foraging is never as satisfying as eating human food. If I want a real meal tonight, then I should pick up the pace before it gets too late. Still, I want to get this done now while there's still daylight. I keep close to the stream and search for a place where the ground is soft. Before too long, I find a promising area. A small valley with hills on most sides and thick foliage on the others. I'm still close enough to civilization to hear cars and other city noise, but the area I'm in doesn't seem like it gets visited very often. At the very least, it doesn't really smell like people. The spot I settle in on is a nice mound of earth near the edge of the woods, partially hidden by a tall tree with low-hanging leaves. Even if no one comes by, it makes me feel better knowing I'll be out of sight. And so, I start to dig. My claws rip up the dirt as I burrow downwards, widening the tunnel just enough for my sleek frame to fit. First, I dig forward, then downward, widening out an area that's big enough for my whole body to fit. This is something I've been doing my whole life, even back when I was just a regular fox. I think that's why I don't mind it too much, compared to sleeping inside somewhere. It just feels right to me. It takes a little while, and by the time I'm finally finished, the first few stars have started to peek out from the sky. I shake myself clean of the dirt that sticks to my coat and transform back into my human form.
Spread this here, couple of branches here, some leaves there.
I walk around the valley a bit, checking from different angles.
Not bad for just an afternoon's work.
If you weren't looking for it, I don't think you'd ever notice anything was out of place. All that digging has made me work up an appetite. Not the kind that'll be satisfied with just a few berries.
Ugh, I'm so hungry. I haven't had a real meal since yesterday.
My stomach rumbles painfully. I've been so busy since arriving here in Wellington that I kind of just forgot how hungry I was. I'll grab some human food back in town. Casting one last glance at my afternoon's work, I set off towards the city.
Work never ends. Time to get some food.
I'm a bit disappointed when I finally get to back to the busy street from before. I was hoping that it would be emptier now, and that all the stores would be closed. Turns out I was half right. A lot of shops have gone dark for the evening, but there are just as many people walking around now as there were earlier. In fact, there might even be more. The patio of a restaurant has a bunch of tables full. A mermaid is sitting in the fountain that I sat by earlier, chatting with a cyclops. Even the cafe that I visited is crowded now, with a line almost out the door. After pacing up and down the road for a while, I sit down and try to figure out what to do next. I'm not too worried about what would happen if I got caught stealing. I would just escape, obviously. And even if they managed to catch me, it wouldn't be an issue for very long. See, there's something different about me that makes me extra good at being a thief. It's not just the skills I've practiced over the years, like picking locks and sneaking around. No, it's a bit more special than that. Without fail, every single person I meet forgets about me by the next day. I don't know why, but I don't really care either. It's magic. That's all I really know about it. Really useful magic. Everywhere I go, no matter how careless I am, all of my problems are solved by the next day. That doesn't mean there's no danger, though. I've been caught in the act before, and beaten or harassed before I can manage to get away. I've even lost a few prizes that I stole fair and square because I had to get going in a hurry. But if someone sees me and isn't able to stop me, I know I'm home free. Sure, they might remember having something stolen, but they'll never know who did it. It almost makes things too easy. Right now, it would be smarter to just come back even later, in the dead of the night, and hope that there are no people around. I'd be able to take my time browsing without having to worry about making a quick escape. Where's the fun in that, though? I walk casually up and down the street, glancing into windows without being too obvious about it. Some stores still have customers inside, and others have locked their doors and shut off their lights. Most of the restaurants are still open, and are only making me hungrier. Stealing from restaurants is a bit much for even me, though, as I've tried it before, but the cluttered kitchens, as well as the tables and chairs, makes it so hard to get around. Plus, I've learned the hard way that there are plenty of hot or sharp things for angry cooks to throw at you as you try to make your way out. Instead, packaged and pre-made foods are my best friend. Things that I can grab multiples of at once and stuff into my pockets. If I'm really lucky, I'll find a place with refrigerated sandwiches or salads. Or sometimes, perfectly good hot food that gets thrown out. You wouldn't believe the kind of stuff that's available if you don't mind sifting through the trash a little bit. It's not perfect, of course, but a hot meal is a hot meal. I know plenty of foxes who've eaten much worse.
Target spotted.
It's perfect. A small convenience store, snacks lined up behind the front window. Even better, the stores on either side of it are closed too, so there's not many other people in the area.
Locked, huh? Not surprising.
I head down a nearby alley and find the back door, which is probably where they bring in new products. The alleyway is dark to begin with, and my dark clothes help me hide even better. I glance around the alley, glad, like always, for my night vision. Nobody's watching. Nobody's even around. I pull my hood up over my ears and tuck my tail between my legs, leaning against the sturdy door. To anyone not looking closely, I'm sure I appear as nothing more than a shadow. I dig around in my pockets until I find my trusty lockpick, and then I set to work on the door. It isn't a complicated lock at all. It's just a regular keyhole. With a click, the latch springs open with just a few short minutes later.
Bingo.
I try to tug the door towards me, but there's a chain on the inside that keeps it from opening very wide. There's no way a human could fit through the gap, but it would be easy for a fox. First, I slink away for a bit, idling on the nearby street like a regular pedestrian. I wait to see if anyone shows up, just in case I triggered a silent security system. After about 10 minutes, I decided safe. I transform under the cover of darkness in the alley and slip into the building before transforming back. The shop isn't very big, and the receiving area is just a small hallway with a few boxes of soda and candy bars on the floor. I grab a couple of my favorites and I shove them into my pockets. When I creep into the main area, I make sure to stay low to the ground, trying to avoid being seen from outside. I'm not exactly hidden, but as long as I don't stand up, I shouldn't attract anyone's attention. I move fast, cramming as much into my coat as I can. Cookies, protein bars, popcorn, I'm not picky. When my coat starts to feel pretty heavy, I grab a plastic bag from behind the counter and transfer some of my loot into there. I also take some bottles of water and sports drinks from the coolers. Just as I'm about to leave, I spot a few of those coveted plastic-wrapped sandwiches that I was thinking about earlier.
Jackpot.
I fill my bag with sandwiches until it's almost overflowing, and then I head out the way I came in. In total, I was in and out in under 5 minutes, and I've got enough supplies to last me several days. When I step into the alley, I glance around in both directions, making sure no one saw me emerging from the store. I don't see anyone, but my neck prickles as if someone is watching me. I sniff the air, but I don't notice anything out of the ordinary. Nothing that wasn't there before. Still. Suddenly, there's a flap of wings and a bat flutters past me, from out of the shadows. It goes right over my head and disappears from sight up at the street.
Oh, that's it?
I let out the breath I'd been holding and start making my way back towards the mountain where I made my den. I let the bag swing from my arm as I walk, whistling a song I'd heard earlier. I'm not able to keep the smile off my face.
All in all, not a bad first day. I've got a nice nest, food to spare, and plenty of places to explore tomorrow.
There have been plenty of days in my life where I've had none of those things. I unwrap one of the sandwiches that I grabbed and take a big bite.
Nothing beats the taste of hard work.
I hope Wellington continues to treat me well while I'm here.
So tired. I'm gonna sleep so well tonight.
I unpack, oh my god, everything that I got from the store, as well as the treasures that I always carry with me. My lockpick, my wallet, and a few pretty stones. The only thing that I leave in my jacket is a small scroll.
Can't get that damaged or dirty.
I change back into a fox and then dig another hole near the entrance to my den. This one is much simpler and shallower, and I bury some of the snacks that I stole before covering them up with dirt.
Not like anyone's gonna come by and swipe my things, but better safe than sorry.
Heck yeah, better safe than sorry.
I stole this myself after all. Don't want it being stolen from me.
Stuff like my pen and my favorite rock go into the burrow with me, since I like having them close by. Once I've gotten everything where it belongs, I climb into the hole myself, turning a few circles before settling down with my tail wrapped around me. From here, I'll have the perfect view of the stars. I look up at the clear night sky through the mouth of the tunnel, and I feel bad for all the people way down on the underworld.
Can they even see the stars from there?
Don't yawn, it'll make me yawn. I've never been to the underworld, so I have no idea. I can't imagine falling asleep without them. Comfortable and safe, I close my eyes and quickly slip off to dreamland. I wake up to trouble, or at least a threat. I'm sure it's only morning as I peer out the burrow's entrance, but the sky is already dark and foreboding. My attention moves from the ominous rain clouds above the trees to outside my den, their branches shaking in the strong breeze.
I can't believe that girl from the cafe was right.
I climb up out of the tunnel and into the open, sniffing the air. It tells me just what I already know. A storm is coming, and fast. But also, another scent plays on my nose. One so faint that I almost brush it off before taking another sniff. Surely I'm wrong. There's no way that... Lowering my snout to the ground, I investigate, and I decide that I'm right. I change into my human form and look around.
Someone's been here.
Yes, someone's definitely been here. But this isn't a human scent. It's vaguely familiar, but at the same time, it's not like nothing I recognize.
And it definitely wasn't here when I went to sleep.
They must have come here in the night and stopped right outside my den.
Are they watching me sleep? Oh crap!
As a fox, I dive back into the hole and make sure everything is still there. My heart pounds in my chest, but nothing appears to be missing. I also checked the spot where I buried my stash from last night, but that hasn't been disturbed either. I breathe a sigh of relief. If any of my stuff had been stolen, I'd be so mad. But that still doesn't answer the question of what they did, or what they did want, and that's even more concerning. I'm a pretty light sleeper, and usually the slightest sound or motion will wake me up. So if someone was able to sneak up on me, even I'd have to be impressed. Impressed and a little bit worried. I've got a more pressing issue right now, though, as I stare up in the sky in disappointment. Oh, wait a second, what's up?
I hate the rain.
What's up? Oh, I will wait. I will wait. What's up? This gives me Wolfwalker vibes? What is Wolfwalker? I have not heard of that before. Is that another game like this? A visual novel? I would have found a different place to make my nest and hide my supplies if I'd known this would happen. Instead, both burrows will probably be piles of mud by the end of the day.
I should have found a place with a roof after all.
I fill my pockets with the most important possessions and some of the food that I grabbed last night. Everything else I wrap as tightly in the plastic bags as I can and bury them in my den. Hopefully I can find somewhere fast and move everything else over before it gets ruined. An abandoned house would be perfect, or some other place where I'd be able to hide. After finishing packing up, I'm just about to get going when a loud flapping sound overhead catches my attention. I expect it to be a bird, but instead it's yet another bat. This one is even bigger than the one I saw last night. Its wings are long and way noisier. I can even hear it squeaking something as it flies past. It's a movie about a girl finding a wolf that can transform into a human and how she ends up becoming one. Interesting! I have never heard of that before. Some people say bats and foxes are similar. I don't see it. I have the movie, but it's an Apple TV exclusive. Yeah, no wonder I haven't heard of it, if it's Apple TV exclusive. I watch it fly around for a little while before it takes off toward the city.
Maybe it knows somewhere to stay. Guess I'll follow it for now.
A couple of times it disappears between the trees. Or just too far ahead. Oh my god. But I always manage to catch back up. Eventually, we're out of the woods and back into civilization, where a car whizzes right past me. There's a sidewalk here and a few other people around. Most of them look up to the sky nervously, though, and everyone seems to be in a bit of a hurry.
Guess I'm not the only one looking to get away from the rain.
More people seem to be going in the direction that I was heading than anywhere else, so I stick to that. By now, my winged guide is almost out of sight again, just a little black speck in the sky flying into the distance. Further up this road, there's a slope that leads to a big, fancy-looking building. It doesn't look like a shop or a restaurant, at least not one that I've ever seen, but there are so many people going in and out that it has to be open to the public. That's good enough for me. It'll give me somewhere dry to spend some time, and then I can learn something useful. Plus, places like this usually have plenty of valuables inside. If I'm lucky, I might be able to find something to fund my next few days. After all, the bigger the target, the less likely they are to notice something's missing. The sturdy oak door isn't as heavy as it looks, a firm push being enough to heave it open. Gingerly stepping inside and out of the rain, I'm greeted by books. Lots of books. Books on shelves, books on tables, books on the floor, books everywhere. I could stream it another time if you want. It's one of the 4 most impactful movies of my life, and I'd gladly watch it again. Maybe. doing a stream every few days is about the limit on what I can do right now. The outside real world is a little hard on me at the moment. The place even smells of musty old paper, and the dozen or so people inside are mostly leafing about through the pages in the aisles. The odd silence about the building is striking, given how many are around. It doesn't look like a shop, so I assume that this must be a library. I've heard of them, but I've never been in one, since I can't read and all. But it's warm and cozy, and very dry, so it'll do fine. There's a desk near the entrance with a computer on it that I assume would be where I check in. It's unattended, which is good for me. I take a seat in an empty chair nearby and sit back to just observe for a bit. There are plenty of people, but it's not too busy. Most of the empty, unwatched, lots are empty, unwatched spaces. Most folks in here seem to be alone or in small groups that keep to themselves. There's not much conversation going on, and what there is all whispered. Nobody gives me a second glance, which is a good sign. It means I'm probably not breaking any rules just by being here. Behind the desk, there's a hallway leading deeper into the building, and I peek around the corner to see what's back there. All I can see are some shut doors, and at the very back, a staircase. After glancing around to make sure no one was watching, I sneak down the hall and try a couple doors. All of them are locked. I could probably pick them if I wanted to, but no sense in trying to do that now, though. REA the streamer? Yep, REA the streamer. No worries, real world stuff is kind of broad, so take your time and go your pace. Yeah. I feel bad kind of checking out on everyone. Like, I want to play Minecraft, and I want to watch you play Cooney Pop and stuff, but I just... It's a lot of effort that I can't put in at the moment. Not because I don't want to, and not because it's your fault or anything. I just don't physically... I am physically incapable of doing those things at the moment. Maybe I'll get a little better and I will be able to do them again, but at the moment I can't. Did my mouse just turn off? What? What? My mouse has just turned off. What just happened? What? How do I get it to turn back on? What? Hold on. No, that's still plugged in. What? What? My mouse. Just, what? It didn't die, it's not... Let me try unplugging it and plugging it back in. What just happened? No? Okay, let me try plugging it into a different one on here. No? Did my keyboard go? My keyboard gone too! What? Huh? Okay. That's not good. Hold on. Did my power go out? What? No? Question mark? What? What? Oh my god. Sorry, I don't know what to do. It just stopped working altogether. My keyboard, my mouse, everything. I have it all plugged into a dock. My dock didn't die, did it? I really need that. Please tell me it didn't die. I really need that. Oh, this is not something I needed to happen right now. Okay, oh my, wait, I don't have a mouse. I can't. Okay, hold on, give me a second. I can plug in. No, wait, I can unplug this from here. Hold on. Let me try plugging this in from here. Okay, mouse still works from there, so I can keep going, I guess. Well, If anyone wants to donate, I need a new dock. It just died. Oh my god. If anyone would like to donate, my donation Ko-fi link is down in the description, because my dock just died. It literally just died on me. I don't know if you can see my mouse on the screen, but everything turned off. I cannot use my keyboard anymore. Oh my god. Let me make sure that, okay, my mic at least works. Oh boy. Okay, I'll just get back to this. But yeah, if anyone likes to donate. Actually, let me Google how much this specific dock is. Actually, right, I can't type. Fuck. I forgot. Okay, let me Google it on my phone, I guess. Oh my god, this would happen. Give me a minute. Oh my god. It is the link. Wavelength docking station. Which one is the one that I got? Oh my god, it wasn't that expensive, was it? Was it really? Why is it so expensive? Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna request any specific amount because the amount that replacing it would be is a little much, and I'm not gonna ask you to donate that much, but I will say that any amount would help right now. Genuinely, any amount. So, as much as you would like to donate. Oh my god. What am I gonna do? Shit. I have to be very careful about streaming from now on, apparently. I cannot use both my keyboard and my mouse at the same time. This is... Oh boy. Okay, let me just keep playing the game. Oh. Is there anything more valuable around? An antique clock or vase would be perfect. Sadly, it's almost all books. Books and small trinkets that look pretty worthless and not even worth the trouble of stealing. At least it's a roof. I do spot a couple of promising items, like a set of old coins, and memorize their locations. I wander back to the main area where I came in. What is that sound? Oh, never mind. I found the sound. I wander back to the main area where I came in. Outside, it hasn't started raining yet, but it's only a matter of time. The wind is loud and gusty, and even opening the door is enough to make me shiver. If nothing else, I can probably wait out the rain here. But, my poor abandoned snacks back at the den. What a waste. Can't do anything about it now, though. I should keep looking around. I'm going to see my family this week, and this one and maybe the next one are out due to expensive for travel and recovery. Yeah, no, it's okay. Again, you do not need to donate. That's just, if you have the, time or money to help me, that would be nice. In the meantime, I'll try and figure out what the fuck happened to this thing. I don't know why it died just now. I mean, I've tried unplugging it and plugging it back in and everything. I've every possible combination of plugging in and out, and it just doesn't work. But yeah, you do not need to donate. Honestly, it's enough that you're even just thinking about donating. Where was I? Can't do anything about it now. I should keep looking around, right? I move slowly through the area, never going beyond what seems to be the public area. I pretend to inspect a few books, taking them off the shelves and flipping through the pages, but I'm actually just mapping out the places in my head, or the place in my head. Doors, windows, and potential places to hide, things like that. Most of the time, this kind of info is unnecessary. It's been a few decades since I've had to make a dramatic escape from anywhere. At this point, plotting an escape route is just a habit. Overall, I like what I'm seeing. Even with the locked doors and off-limits hallway, there are a lot of nooks and crannies that would make a good hiding spot, especially as a fox. Oh yeah, no. I will see you. Go return your rental vehicle safely. From the thick dust that coats a lot of these areas, I can tell they don't get a lot of visitors. If I'm careful, I might be able to go a whole week or more without being noticed. As long as I can get in and out of the building easily, that is. And with the huge windows that line the back wall, that seems easy enough too. I weave around a couple shelves that are taller than I am, heading for the tall back corner. I peer around the corner of the last aisle just to make sure I'm alone. But I'm not. There she is! Oh my god, hello. Oh my god. She reminds me a lot of Violet Evergarden. And that just makes her even hotter. At the small table by the window sits a woman with a small book in her hands, resting against her fingers. She's perfectly still, but mouths the words on the page as she reads, like she's tasting them instead of just seeing them. Her expression has the distant look of someone way off in their own little world, far away from this one. She looks so at peace that I think she must belong in the other world. She's beautiful and elegant in the same way as a painting, with the light from the windows shining on her like a display. I duck back behind the bookshelf, pressing one hand to my racing heart. The other bumps against one of the books on the shelf, and it falls with a dusty thump. Cursing my clumsiness, I silently back away in case she decides to investigate. But she doesn't leave the chair.
I suppose it's nothing.
I love her. She turns and gazes out the open window. At what? I don't know. A moment later, she returns to her book and leaves this world again. I stay hidden, my face still burning a little bit. Yes, I think this will be the perfect place to spend some time. Suddenly, there's a much louder boom than the one I caused, and the thunder rumbles outside. Sorry, the thunder caught me off guard. A few people around the library startle at the sound and look around. Sighing, the girl in the chair pulls the window beside her closed as the first drop of rain falls not a minute later. I'll investigate the windows later. Right now, I don't want to bother her, so I head back to one of the plush chairs on the other side of the library and take a seat. I could be here a while, depending on how long the rain lasts, so I might as well get comfy. I find a few books that have more pictures than words, and curl up in a soft chair to flip through them. There aren't as many of those, so I go through the stack pretty fast. Takes long enough for the rain to start, though. The longer I read, the louder the pounding of the rain and howling of the wind become. I guess it's not letting up anytime soon. I can't complain, though. The library is pretty cozy by my usual standards. It's warm and safe, and nobody tells me to go away. I even have snacks. More than once, I get up and walk around the library again, even though I've got most of it memorized by now. I take note of things like a child's stuffed toy that's lying on the floor in one section, or a thin blanket that's stuffed between the bookshelf and the wall. On my third or fourth trip around, I finally find something that I'd been looking for. In one of the far corners, totally opposing from what I saw from where I saw the reading girl earlier, there's a single chair and a small table. On the wall nearby is a portrait. The painting itself is of a girl with light brown hair, but I barely pay attention to that. What I'm interested in is the frame. It's lovely. It looks like it might be made out of gold. It certainly shines like it. It's intricately carved into the shape of waves, flowing up and down. It's gotta be worth something. I pretend to not pay much attention to it as I make my way back to the table. There are too many other people around for me to be able to just try and sneak out. It's too big to fit under my jacket without it being obvious. It just means I'll have to come back some other time. Maybe once this place is closed. The hours pass by and the storm continues. I'm kind of disappointed about losing a whole day, especially so soon after arriving. But it's not like I'm in any sort of hurry. I pat one of my pockets, feeling the familiar and reassuring weight of my paper scroll that's tucked away there. The scroll is the only thing close to a purpose that I have, and it's not particularly urgent. Or at least, I don't have to any way to deal with it faster. I spent a long time reading. It's almost afternoon when I go and check the windows again, but the rough weather outside continues. At this rate, I'll be sleeping in a pile of mud tonight. Unless... A quick check shows that a lot of the other library patrons have left. It's not empty, but it's not nearly as full as earlier. Guess some of them decided it was worth braving the rain. Looking as nonchalant as I can, I get up from my seat to pretend to browse again, slowly moving through the shelves. The reading girl is gone now, although she's not what I was looking for. Instead, I pick up the dropped toy and blanket that I spotted earlier, and then head to one of the out-of-the-way hiding spots that I picked out before. It's on the floor, between a shelf and the wall, but it has a bit of carpet to help make it softer. Even better, it's between two corner shelves, meaning that it's practically out of sight if you're not looking for it. I wriggle my way between the furniture and lie down, using the toy as a pillow and draping the blanket over me. I toss and turn a few times before finally settling down.
Yep, not bad at all.
Even though I haven't done much today, I'm always down to take a nap. I can pass a few hours by sleeping, wake up once it's dark, and then grab that picture frame and be on my way. I'll have to rebuild my den once I get back, but that's a problem for future me. I yawn, staring up at the ceiling until my eyes get heavy.
Maybe today won't be a total waste after all.
The soft sound of cloth rustling wakes me up from a dreamless sleep. How the hell did someone sneak up on me twice now? I don't know how long it's been. The sky outside has darkened significantly, and by now, stars twinkle outside the window. There's no time to react as the sound comes closer. I hear no footsteps, but suddenly a woman steps out into view. I'm already... Whoa. Her clothes are pure white, making her stand out like a ghost in a dark library. Her cape rustles again, and she reaches towards one of the shelves. One of the shelves I'm hiding behind, to be precise. Gingerly, she moves 2 books to the side and slides another book into the space she created. She handles them like precious treasures that she might break if she's too rough. I stay perfectly still, afraid to even breathe in case she notices me. My heart beats wildly as she slowly and deliberately looks over the shelf, examining their titles before taking a book from the second lowest row. Through the gap she creates in the shelves, our eyes meet in the darkness. Oh no. I tense up as she steps around the shelves between us to get a better look at me, preparing myself to leap away if the need arises. The carefully memorized layout in the library flashes through my mind as I frantically plot the best way to flee. Even as I prepare my escape, I can see her taking in everything about me. The stolen blanket, the makeshift pillow, my generally disheveled appearance. She opens her mouth, and I brace myself for the verbal attack that's sure to come.
Hello there.
Hello.
May I ask why you're sleeping on the floor?
I'm, sorry, I just went a little bit red there. Ma'am. It doesn't matter what I say, just distract her enough to get away.
I don't have anywhere else to sleep.
I thought so.
She leans down and offers me a hand. I look at it warily. I don't take it, but I slowly stand, letting the blanket fall to my feet and trying to subtly get in a position to run.
Well, I have an extra room on the 2nd floor that you're welcome to borrow, if you'd prefer that. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to remain here, on the ground. I apologize for waking you.
With a smile, the oddly calm woman steps away and busies herself with organizing another row of books. She probably expects me to let my guard down and take her offer. I'm just a stranger, someone who broke into her library. There's no reason for her to treat me kindly. My years of experience, and there are years of those, tells me it's a trap.
Thanks, but no thanks. I'll just be going, actually. Sorry to bother you like this.
I hurry past her, shoulders tense as I expect her to grab me or try to stop me. She doesn't, though. The one time I glance back, she's watching me with a strange expression that I don't recognize. Oh, no, go back. I want to see her again. When I get outside and away from the library, I breathe a sigh of relief.
Whew, that was close. I'm not falling for that one again.
The last time I let someone feel sorry for me and accepted a place to stay, I woke up to them trying to empty my wallet. I may be a thief, but at least I do it honestly. I wouldn't try to trick someone like that. That wasn't the first time someone tried to fool me and take advantage of me, either.
Still, it's a shame to lose such a nice hiding place. Maybe I'll give it a couple of days for that woman to forget about me, and then try again. If she wasn't lying about there being an empty room on the second floor, then maybe I could sneak into there.
Tonight, though, I'm on my own. Shivering, I wrap my coat and tail tightly around myself as I think about what to do next. The rain has stopped, although it's still cold and cloudy. My stomach grumbles since I haven't eaten anything other than snacks all day.
Ugh.
I may as well get it over with and go check on the status of my den.
Well, it could be worse.
It's not as bad as I expected, which is a pleasant surprise.
What's a little mine? It'll be just fine.
I swap to my fox form and prod around. The entrance has caved in a little, but after I scoop that out, I find that the rest of the tunnels and main room are relatively intact. Cold as hell, but intact. Seems the trees protected the den from a lot of the rain. It takes me a while to find the spot where I buried my stash, since the stick I used to mark the spot got washed away. Eventually, I locate it, though, and start digging. The cold mud makes my paws dirty and sore, and little flecks cover my fur. After I finally reach the soggy plastic bags, I shake myself clean before opening them as a human. Some water has seeped through, and I open the spoiled items before tossing them away. I'm not too picky, but I have plenty of other snacks to choose from.
Eat up, birdies.
A few of them swoop down to inspect the offering. I scurf down a quick meal of cookies and unwarmed soup, along with some cold water from the stream. At least the water is satisfying. Even though I woke up from a nap not too long ago, I shift back to my fox form to crawl into the den and curl up. I'm sure it'll be a while before I fall asleep, but I don't feel like going back into town. I've had enough excitement for one day. This isn't all that bad. Regular foxes without magic powers have it way worse than I do. Although, back when I was a fox and all, I really wouldn't have cared. This looks so professional. Can't wait to see the full game. Me too! I don't remember if it's out yet or not. I believe it's just the demo that released, but let me check on Steam. Right, I can't type. Never mind. Actually, can I? No, I cannot. I cannot. Wait, can I click around and find it? I don't think it's gonna let me. It's not gonna let me. Damn. To this day, I'm not sure what it is that made me different. I used to be just like them. No desire to go beyond the forest or anything. And then, one day, I became whatever I am now. All I had was my necklace, a small scroll that I can't read, and the memory of the person who had given it to me. They were so kind to me, that stranger in the forest. They wished me well, even though I was just an ordinary fox. Somehow, that didn't seem to matter to them. I never even knew their name, just their face and their voice. But I know that I'll recognize them when I see them again. It's just a matter of finding them. So, since then, I've been looking. Looking and surviving. Looking for them is what keeps me going. It's enough to live for. If it wasn't, I don't know what else I'd be doing. I guess I'd just be surviving, but if that was the only thing, I think I'd rather have just stayed a fox. Standing outside my den in human form, I take stock of how things stand. The sun's thankfully out this morning, but everything remains damp, from the ground to the muggy air itself. The chill on the breeze is the worst, making me shiver every time it hits me. The Bell House was pleasant when I visited a couple days ago, so I decided to head down towards the main street to get a coffee while working out my next moves. Coming to the door of the cafe, I pause and wipe my feet on the mat outside. The human fascination with surrounding themselves in concrete makes a little more sense as I work the mud off my feet. With that, I finally head inside, only to stop in my tracks as the door shuts behind me. It's her again! Standing behind the counter is the same girl who I saw reading in the library yesterday, talking with the customer as she takes their order. The gentle aura about her is unmistakable. The person in front of me finishes their order, and I step up to the counter.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bell House.
I love her!
What can I make for you today?
Oh my god!
Oh, hi. I'll have...
A vanilla latte? No, that's boring.
What do you recommend? I want to try something new. I'm glad you asked. I was just thinking that you look like the sort of person who would enjoy one of our Fairy Kiss chillers. It's one of our signature drinks, with a vanilla gelato base and a mint chocolate chip swirl.
I was planning to get something warm, but that does sound pretty good.
Okay. Give me one of those then. Perfect. And could I get your name, please? It's Miho.
She scribbles something onto a cup and finishes it with a big flourish.
I'll have that right out for you.
I love her. I pay and then go take the same seat as before next to the windows. It's pretty empty in here, so I can sit wherever I want. Before the barista starts making my drink, I spot her writing something down in a little notebook. She glances my way once or twice, but I pretend not to notice. I wonder what it is. The barista yesterday didn't write anything down. Anyway, I've got more important things on my mind. I mull over the plan which formed as I walked here, becoming increasingly happy with it. Tonight, I've already decided. I'm going to sneak back into the library. Between the picture frame and some other trinkets I saw, I should be able to pay for enough to fund my next few days in Wellington. Finding somewhere to sell it should be the easy part. I've got about a dozen excuses I can recite about where the items came from. Dead grandma, spring cleaning, new renovations. Sometimes I try extra hard to pretend that the things I'm selling are really special to me, so I can earn a bit more cash that way. Sometimes I just take whatever they give me. After years of watching other humans doing it and trying it out myself, I've gotten pretty good at pawning items off. I find myself idly watching the barista make my drink. While I do, I practice a disarming smile. All of her movements are quick and practiced, but she has that same faraway look in her eyes that I noticed yesterday. She looks up and our eyes meet. I don't look away and she turns pink before ducking away behind a machine out of sight. Oh, she's so cute!
A weird girl.
I turn my head around to look at the cafe, and a butterfly outside catches my attention, so I watch that instead. It flutters back and forth, landing on a flower and resting its wings.
Miho!
Oh, my coffee's ready. I quickly get up and skip over to the counter. Cup in hand, she starts to head over to give it to me. But then, several things happen at once. One of the little tassels on the pocket of her apron catches on the drawers behind the counter, and she jerks to a stop, eyes wide with surprise. And my drink tumbles out of her hand, landing on the counter with a wet gloop as the ice cream splats against it, sending mint green rivers of coffee everywhere. Uh-oh. A few seconds pass where we're just looking at each other, neither of us quite sure what to do. And then she takes a deep breath.
I am so sorry. I'll make you a replacement right away. Just give me 1 second and I'll have that ready for you.
Oh my god. Her words spill out faster than the beverage, making it hard to understand what she's even saying. The line wasn't recorded quite right, but it was cute anyway. Her face is bright red as she spins back around, trying to grab another empty cup. Then she stops, hands hovering awkwardly.
Wait, I should clean this up before it dries and starts to go bad.
She hurries back to the mess, wiping at it with some napkins. She mops as much as she can with one hand and then leaves a soggy paper on the counter as she tries to remake my drink.
Sorry, this is such an embarrassment.
I don't even know if she's talking to me or herself. I freeze up for a second, looking for an appropriate response to an apology. I'm not used to people apologizing to me.
Oh, it's fine. I'm not in a hurry.
Instead, I just sit back down at one of the tables and watch. She makes the drink twice as fast and carries it very slowly to the counter, setting it down in a clean spot. This time, she takes a deep breath before speaking, like she's afraid she's gonna mess that up too.
All right, here's your drink. Again, I'm very sorry. Oh, this is your first time here, isn't it? I hope it doesn't leave a bad impression. Second, actually. Yesterday was the first time. How'd you know? I make an effort to remember as many of our customers as I can, as well as their favorite orders. I believe you can learn a lot about a person from how they drink their coffee.
Well, that's too bad for her, because she won't remember me at all next time. I take a big sip of the drink she made for me. It's creamy and rich and sweet all at the same time.
Whoa, this is really good. It's kind of like a milkshake, but not. But it's not like coffee either. Yes, exactly. I'm very glad that you like it. It's one of my favorite beverages that we serve. In fact, the recipe was my idea.
Oh my god.
Oh, they should put you in charge of all the recipes.
She smiles again. Seems like she's already gotten over the crisis of the spilled drink already.
Thank you. I'll make you another one of my favorites next time, if you'd like. Totally.
At least I'll know what to order next time. Even though I'll have already been forgotten. I'm already thinking of this place as my go-to coffee shop, especially since it's in such a convenient area. I find it hard to believe anyone wouldn't recognize a girl with fox ears if they saw them twice. So they talked about this earlier in the game. Miho, she's got this like magic, right? She's got the magic that turns her into the fox/girl, right? It causes people to forget her the day after they see her. So, you know, the day turns into night, night turns into day, and upon next day, they don't know who she is. That's how she's able to get away with stealing. With tasty drinks and cute baristas, I don't have a reason to go anywhere else. A knocking sound from the employee area gets both our attention.
Hey, Aspen, can you set another batch of croissants?
Oh, sure. I'll be right there.
She calls back over her shoulder, and then she looks at me briefly.
Have a nice day, Miho. You too.
Oh, they're so cute! With a wave, she gathers the trash from the cleanup and throws that away before disappearing into the back. So her name is Aspen. That's a pretty name. I'll have to try and remember that. Getting up from my seat, I decide to head back outside for some fresh air. Sipping my fairy kiss chiller as I go, I head out the door and into the increasingly busy main street. I already know my plans for tonight, but I've still got some time to kill before then. What should I do? Ooh! Welcome to the world of Please Be Happy! On the map, you can select locations to visit and spend time in. Just take note, most locations will pass time. How you experience the story will be up to you. Events that will pass time will be marked with a stopwatch or a little, clock pocket watch. Some events will only show up at certain times and on certain routes. For today, you can see all the events, but in the future, you'll have to pick and choose how you spend your time here. Interesting. Okay, and then menu. Let's save. Oh no, not quick save. I should save file. There we go. Let's see. We've got the Oriental Bay, the Den, Mount Victoria, the library, and Cuba Street. Interesting. So Cuba Street is probably the one that we keep seeing. I'm back to say I gotta go and need to clean up the old place and set up everything in the new one. Aw, alrighty. Have fun and good luck. if I'm still streaming, then I'll be here and you'll see me and you'll say hi. Please do. What the fuck? Okay, let's see. So it said that we can visit any of them. And the ones without the little watch icon won't spend time. So let's go Cuba Street first. They say the perp always returns to the scene of the crime, so I head back to the main streets. By the looks of it, the store I swiped from is the same as always. The person sweeping the front of the store doesn't even seem a little bit stressed. I never steal enough for it to be noticeable, but it's always a point of pride when the place looks the same the next day. A smug smile creeps on my face as I pass by, snacking on the chocolate bar that I took from their shelves. Main story is the library. Kill time until night. Side story, Oriental Bay or Mount Victoria. Let's see what the den has. Without much else to do to pass the time, I head back to my den. It's not the best place to hang around, honestly, but it's comfortable enough. Looking around the small area, I shift back to my usual form. If I have to kill some time, might as well have some fun while I'm at it. A couple of hours later, I've happily had my fill of chasing butterflies and snacking on mushrooms. Okay, time to get back to it. Okay, good. I was worried for a second that it had actually, killed time. Let's see. Interesting. Okay, it looks like there's little icons of people around here. You know what? Let's go to the bay. It's not far from the Bell House to the beach, so I decide to head down there. Alright, let me put back the menu. Passing through the city streets, I recognized some of this area from my first day here, when I was running from the Skyport guard.
Glad that guard chased me in this direction, or I'd have never found the Bell House.
And really, that's been the highlight of Wellington so far. When I get down to the beach, I take a moment to enjoy the salty sea air. From this level, it's impossible to tell where the ocean ends and this open sky begins. Oh yeah, that's right. They're also on floating islands. I can see the sky part from where I am, with a few older ships anchored in the harbor close by. While I'm admiring the view, a worried-looking lady comes up and waves for my attention.
Hi, I'm looking for my son. He's about this tall and wearing a red sweater. His name's Tommy. Have you seen him?
Nope. I haven't seen anyone like that. I just got here.
Okay, thanks.
She walks away in a hurry, looking right and left as she goes to ask someone else.
Humans sure do have it rough.
Since they can't smell or even hear most things, it's a wonder they don't get lost more often. I amble along the waterfront, searching or watching all the people as I go. Like Cuba Street, there's a lot going on. Under a nearby bridge, a group of 3 mermaids are racing each other. Close to the bridge are a bunch of people fishing, and a stressed-looking guy running back and forth between them. Next to the boarded-up market stall and some big crates, I noticed something weird. There's a fabled with a big flower on their head that spins like a propeller. They're using it to drift in a small circle above something near the crates. I have to check it out, of course. Nobody else pays attention. I wander over and take a look. The fabled stops spinning as I approach and gives me a helpless look, but it doesn't say anything. On the other side of the crate, out of sight from the path, there's a little boy sitting on the ground with his back to one of the wooden boxes.
Are you Tommy?
The kid jumps, totally surprised. Oops! He scrambles up and looks at me with wide eyes.
How'd you know? Your mom's looking for you. She seemed pretty worried.
The expression goes from surprise to sullen real quick.
I don't care. I don't want to go with her. Why not? Why are you over here instead? 'Cause I'm hiding. Oh. Okay.
It's a pretty crummy hiding spot. I mean, it's totally open on 3 sides. I don't say that, though. Instead, I look up at the fabled floating overhead. It looks almost as glum as Tommy.
Who's that? That's Jerby. You mean you can see him? I can. Is that weird? Mom and Dad can't see He doesn't talk, but he's real.
Jerby waves from up high.
He kinda gave away your hiding spot. I saw him from the road. Mom can't see him, and that's all that matters. Why are you hiding from her? 'Cause...
Tommy sits back down and scratches at the dirt with the rock. Guess he doesn't want to talk about it. I'm always happy to end a conversation.
Well, good luck.
I start to walk away. He doesn't seem like he's in any danger, and I don't want to get blamed for hiding him in the first place.
Hey, wait a minute.
I turn around. He's already standing up again.
Are you gonna go tell her where I am?
Before I can answer, his eyes get huge again.
Tommy, there you are.
I have to turn around again. This time it's the woman from before. She's already flying past me over to Tommy.
Are you okay? What were you doing? Don't you ever run off like that again. Oh, just glad you're safe though.
Her voice goes up and down between relieved and angry. She has Tommy in a tight hug, but he's just staring forward grumpily. Jerby is flying in distressed circles again. Finally, the lady turns to me.
You found him, right? Thank you so much. I was so worried.
No problem.
I didn't really do anything. I did find him, but so did she. Guess it's not much thinking about. Or guess she's not thinking about it much.
Come on, Tommy, let's go home. Talk about this there.
No, I'm not going. That's not home.
My ears flinch as he yells. He stamps his foot on the ground to make his point.
Tommy, sweetie.
Home is where it's you, me, and Dad. Not that apartment.
That's still your home too. But this, it's like your second home now.
No, it isn't. Not without you, it's not. You and Dad really have to get it.
Oh. Tommy, who was already sniffling, can't keep from breaking down and crying as he throws his arms around his mom and hugs her back.
I don't want you to go.
Oh. I get the impression that I should probably leave. Normally, I'm happy to be nosy and listen in on things, but right now it seems kind of awkward. Neither of the humans notice me leaving, but Jerby the Fabled sadly waves goodbye as I head off. I wonder what made him stick around. I've never seen a Fabled like him before. Not being able to be seen by certain people sounds useful, though. I don't have to go far before the sounds of Tommy and his mom talking are drowned out by the noise of the waterfront. I can easily fit into the crowd of people milling about. Being able to live a life that no one notices is close enough to being invisible. I'm already pretty lucky that I don't ever have to have those kinds of tearful conversations or panics about missing somebody. No, being part of the crowd is just perfect for me. I stand at the concrete and admire the ocean until I've had my fill, and then I start wandering again. Very cool. Okay, so do I do both of them? Yeah, until night, and it's only evening. I have plenty of time to kill, so I have plenty of time to kill, and also plenty of restless energy. I decide to go for a walk up Mount Victoria just to give myself something to do. I take the long trip up, instead of taking a bunch of shortcuts like usual. It winds through the neighborhoods and then back out again, with only an occasional car passing through by the street. Compared to some of the other cities I've been in lately, the air here is a lot cleaner, and the smell of nature shines through. It can't compare to being out in the wild for real, of course, but it's nice to not be... Hello? It's nice to not be choking on exhaust fumes everywhere I go. The houses are weird, though. Many of them set up on tall legs like giant bugs with windows for eyes. More people seem to be coming down the mountain than going up it. Lots of them zip past on bikes or skateboards, while others are just jogging or walking.
This path is longer than I thought.
About halfway up or so, there's a wooden bench. Just off the sidewalk. It's occupied by a man with dark hair and big sunglasses. As I'm about to pass by, he waves.
Well, hello, miss. Nice evening for a walk, eh?
Huh? Is he talking to me? He must be, because there's no one else nearby. Chatting's usually not my thing, but for the moment, I appreciate a distraction.
It sure is. I'm glad the rain's gone.
Oh, for now, yeah. It's never gone for long, though, is it?
That's so. I'm new here. I didn't even think it would rain since it was so sunny the day before.
Ho ho ho! You've got to watch out for that around here. Mother Nature's real fickle these days. 1 minute you're on the pier, enjoying the sunshine. Next minute, whoosh!
He makes a whoosh sound with his breath and a wavy hand motion with his hands.
Storm clouds, as far as the eye can see. That's just welly for you, though. You live with the sunshine and the clouds. Where are you from, then? Guessing you're not a kiwi.
Nah, I'm a fox, not a bird.
The man laughs, a deep belly laugh. Like usual, I'm not really sure that what I said was that funny.
Not like that. Although those little guys are cute. Kiwi is a word for us New Zealanders in general.
So it's a bird, a fruit, and people.
You've got it. All three are delightful. Anyway, welcome to Wellington. I hope you're enjoying your time here in our little city.
So far I am. I made my den here on the mountain. I've gotten coffee a few times, and I went to the library.
I conveniently leave out my plans for the next time that I'm in the library.
I can't say that's the usual tourist experience, but I'm happy to hear that it's working out. Staying long?
Probably. I decided to come live here, but I'm still getting to know the place. So, maybe I'll change my mind.
A true free spirit. I felt the same way when I first got here, long time ago. Didn't think I settled down for life, but here I am now. Lived more years here than everywhere else in my life.
It can't be that long. You don't look very old for a human.
No? Well, that's my ego boost for the day. You don't look very old for a fox either, but I imagine you've got a good head start on me.
That's true. I don't really keep track or think about it, though.
He laughs again.
Can't say I blame you there. I think 100 years, give or take a little on either side, is enough for me. And I'm only halfway there, so I've got plenty more to look forward to.
He stands up, but he has to do it slowly.
And sometimes I'm reminded of how many I've got under my belt already. Thank you for the chat, miss. I better get back to the water now and make sure young Min hasn't fallen into the ocean or anything. It's been a real pleasure talking with you, though. I hope you'll give our fair town a shot.
That was so
Thanks.
nice.
It was nice talking to you, too.
And I mean that for once. He waves goodbye as he heads down some stone steps, and I keep heading upwards. I've never really thought about my age compared to humans. Humans don't matter to my lifestyle. I wasn't lying when I said I didn't know how old I am. It's just never been important. Places, relationships, memories, they just tie people down. I want to be everywhere. When I reach the top of the mountain, I take a deep breath of the crisp air. Wind blows my hair in every direction, and I can't keep it out of my face. The wind is wild and goes where it wants. It doesn't answer to anyone. That's how I've lived my life too. A free spirit. That's what the man called me, and I like the sound of it. I can see the smudges of a few people down by the bench and on the pier. Is one of them the man I just met? There's really no way to know. From up here, they're just tiny little blips, impossible to tell apart from each other. Once I've had my fill of the view, it's time to get on the way again. I turn my back to the people and start making my way down once more. Now it's night. Alright. I'm gonna save quick. Alright. When the moon is high in the sky, I decide it's time. There we go. This is the perfect kind of night for me. There's not much wind, meaning I'll be able to hear or smell anyone approaching. It's a little cloudy too, which gives me some cover from the moonlight. I make my way back up to the library, stopping as soon as I'm within sight of it. I find a shadowy place to hide and watch the front for a few minutes. Like I hoped, nobody goes in or out. All the windows are dark too. I slowly creep up towards the entrance, ready to transform and flee if I have to. Nothing happens. No one tries to stop me. I peek into one of the windows. It's dark inside and I can't see anyone at all. Perfect. I move around to the back side of the building and check those windows too. Same thing. It's dark and empty.
This is gonna be too easy.
Back at the front door, I pick the lock and slip inside. I sneak from room to room, revisiting the items I memorized yesterday. They're not expensive or fancy enough to think of them as treasures. I end up leaving a lot of them alone since I don't want to carry too much with me. The rest go into my coat pockets. Finally, I end up at the painting in the corner, the piece that started this whole plan. I have to set a couple of things down on the floor because the painting needs both hands for me to lift it. It's heavier than it looks, though it's not very big. That's probably a good sign for how much it'll be worth. I have to jiggle it a couple of times to get it off the hook, but I manage. Tucking the painting under one arm, I pick up the other goods from the floor. This should be enough for one night. Best to get in and out quick. I start to head back for the front door when I came in. Before I get there, the light floods the room. My heart starts to race as I immediately prepare to run. A quick glance over my shoulder shows the woman from last night standing at the top of the stairs. Her eyes are glowing blue with anger. She takes a step forward, not seeming to touch the stairs.
Leave that painting alone.
I've got to get out of here. Now. Throwing caution to the wind, I clutch my spoils tight and charge for the door, trying to make myself as small a target as possible. The painting is too big for me to transform and still hold on to it, so I have to do this on my own two legs.
Stop, please.
I don't stop. Just like my arrival here, with the guards and the skyport, the thrill of being chased has already taken over. It's exciting and scary all at the same time, but either way, it spurs me to move faster. Using my shoulder, I crash out the front door into the night. I run as quickly as I can, keeping an eye out for patches of slick mud or puddles of water. The path I take goes far past Mount Victoria and my den, ending up in a small residential area. I stash the painting under a parked car and then take my fox form and crawl under a house, upsetting a mean gray cat who was already hiding there. It makes a low growling sound and I glare at it, desperately willing it to be silent before it gives away my position. I growl back as best I can, and that seems to scare it into shutting up. I'm not sure if I was being followed or not, but I don't want to take any chances. After 10 minutes or so, I climb out, pick up my loot, and sneak back towards my den. Now that the excitement has worn off, I just can't keep a smile off my face. There's nothing more satisfying than pulling off a heist, even one as easy as this. Other thieves I've heard about must have it rough, having to stake out a place for a long time, trying really hard not to get caught and making sure not to be seen. I've never done this much planning. I just do what feels right. My ability to transform makes it pretty hard to catch me, although I have had to leave some stuff behind while I was taking once or twice. And honestly, it would get boring if I never got caught and I never had to run. My good mood lasts me all the way home, and then disappears completely when I see who's waiting for me. The woman in white. Hi again. She stands just outside my den, looking like she doesn't care at all about the cold or mud. In fact, her perfect clothes don't seem to get dirty at all. With her back turned to me, she's staring up at the moon. But she faces me as I approach. She has the same calm presence as when I first saw her. But I can see a mournful look in her eyes, which has gone back to brown instead of a furious blue. My heart quickens, almost suffocatingly, as she watches me intently. I know how quickly calm can turn into anger. I should run, but I can't look away.
How did you find me here? Before I even got back?
A friend of mine told me you might be found here.
Her voice is soft and warm, and like the way she shouted at me back in the library.
A friend.
But who? I wasn't followed, I'm sure of that much. With the shock of being found wearing off, the realization that I'll need to find a new place to stay sets in. And after all this work, too.
I apologize for showing up uninvited. I'm here to ask that you please return that painting to me. You may keep the frame if you like, but the painting itself is very dear to me.
Aww. I look down at the portrait. I've been carrying it for a while, but I haven't given the picture itself much thought. It's a beautiful painting and clearly very old. The girl shown in it is wearing a long, flowing dress, looking down with a small smile.
And also...
She breathes out slowly, and my eyes narrow. It's the sound that people make when they're acting calm, but they're angry.
Should you want it, I have an extra room available in my library, with a soft bed and a warm meal. You may stay as long as you wish.
Huh?
After I just tried to rob her, she's offering me a place to stay? Okay, now I know this must be a trap. There's no way. Although, it's the same thing she asked me last night before I broke in. I'm sure she doesn't remember that.
Why?
Because I have more beds than I could possibly fill and more food than I could eat. If there is someone who wants or needs them, is it not appropriate to share these with them?
Is it?
I'm not sure what answer she wants to hear. She looks at me again, the same expression as it was in the library. Well, her offer does sound kind of tempting.
I guess it's not like my place is as nice as yours.
Not anymore, at least. Not after it rained and made half of it mud. I look down at the paintings again. Or the painting again. If I sold it, it was just so I could be buying the same thing she offers me. I still don't trust her. I've watched people enough to know better than most. Blah. There must be something she wants. But I don't think she wants to hurt me. She knows I don't have anything that's worth stealing. If she try to pull something, I could just run away. It's only one night. I can come back and try again, or find someplace else to take from. I look down the burrow past where she's standing. It looks less like a den and more like a pile of mud. The thought of sleeping there again practically makes the decision for me.
Fine, I'll take it.
She breathes out slowly again and smiles. Maybe that sound doesn't mean she's angry.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. I should introduce myself properly. My name is Juliet. May I ask what yours is?
Miho.
I've had to introduce myself twice in a day now. That has to be a new record.
Well, Miho, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Juliet's voice actress is, you know, like, finger touchy.
Let's return to the library. I can carry the painting if you'd like, or you may hold on to it until we get there.
I shrug.
Here, feel free.
Oh my god, they're so cute. She receives it very gently. I quickly fall in beside her as we begin to walk back. To my relief, she doesn't try to make any conversation. Instead, she silently cradles the painting as we go. When we get back to the library, the lights are off and the door is still unlocked. After setting the painting down on the desk, Juliet gestures toward the stairs.
It's on the second floor.
I follow her lead again until she stops at one of the closed doors. She unlocks it and lets me in. Is that the same woman? The room is simple and cozy, with a couple of dressers, a table, and a bed. Over the bed, there's a boxy window and a wide sill, big enough to sit on. On the table, there's a cheese sandwich and a few apple slices, plus some sort of cake. There's also a pitcher of water.
I hope the food is to your liking. 2 rooms down the hall from here, you'll find a refrigerator, and you may help yourself to anything in there. My study is just past that. If you need anything, don't hesitate to come find me. Is there anything more I can bring for you?
Don't give me that option, ma'am. I'll come talk to you every time of the day. I shake my head, still in disbelief. What am I even supposed to say in a situation like this? I just stole from her, and now I have both a bed and food in return. As if to answer my confusion, she gives me a calm smile. It doesn't help.
Then I'll leave you to it. We can speak again in the morning. Good night, Miho.
The door shuts behind her, and I expect to hear Juliet lock it. But when I try the knob after giving it a few moments, the door opens quietly into a dark hall. Juliet's nowhere to be seen. I pull the door back shut behind me and inspect the room, looking for any hidden threats. I also check the food, sniffing it to make sure there's no poison or anything. If there is, I can't smell it, so I dig in instead.
Whoa. This is really good.
There's 3 different kinds of cheese in the sandwich, which is 2 more kinds than I knew existed. The bread is soft and buttery, and when I take a bite of the apple, juice rolls down my chin. The water that I wash it down with tastes better than the water from the stream by my den. When I'm done eating, I climb into bed, still feeling overwhelmed. More specifically, not knowing how to feel. Part of me fears that I've made some gigantic mistake, and that I'll wake up in danger if I ever wake up at all. Trusting my instincts has kept me alive on multiple occasions for hundreds of years. Enough that I've lost count of exactly how many. But something tells me I don't have anything to fear from the woman who I can only assume is my host and the owner of this place. So with that in mind, I pull the blankets up to my chin and adjust the luxurious pillows beneath my head. Who knows? Maybe the morning will bring trouble with it. But right now, just sleeping sounds alright. I wake up to the sound of birds chirping loudly outside. Blinking warily, I prop myself up and look towards the warm sunlight beaming through the window. The sheets under my hand feel soft and dry. My hand goes to my neck, taking in a smooth familiarity of my necklace.
It's still here.
If someone was gonna rob me, that's the only thing that would have seemed valuable. I sit up and look around. It doesn't look like anyone came in while I was sleeping. Maybe I really am safe here. I wonder if Juliet's friend was the scent I noticed outside my den on the first morning. I don't know how else she would have found me, or how they did it without waking me up. If it's happened before, it could happen again, as much as I hate to admit it. So I check around the room very thoroughly, but I still don't notice anything different from when I went to bed.
Maybe it's not a trick.
All my past experiences have told me that there has to be a catch. Nothing is free. Nothing. But no matter how hard I try, I still can't figure out what it could be. Could Juliet really have been telling the truth? It just seems so unlikely. It'd be nice if it was true. But if it wasn't, if I let myself believe only to be wrong in the end, that would hurt even more, wouldn't it? No. Better to not take the risk. After all, I've lived a lot of years this way, and it's not like I hate it. Making my mind up helps me feel better right away, too. It just makes more sense. Even if I tried to stay, I don't think I'd ever stop worrying. This way, I'll know for sure that I'm in charge of my own destiny. Now that I know this room is unoccupied, I might be able to sneak back in sometimes when I need a place to stay. It wouldn't be too hard to climb one of these trees and get to the window from here. I take one last look around. For just a night, it was a nice what if. I then head downstairs and out the door without speaking a word to anyone. It's another nice day, the same as when I arrived in Wellington. Warm sun and blue skies with just a hint of clouds. For a while, I meander around town, eating the last of my pastries from the convenience store hall for breakfast. Today feels like another restart. I have no den, no supplies, no anything. It's less exciting now than it was when I first arrived. I don't have a destination in mind, but eventually end up at the waterfront. There's an airship over the bay, descending closer towards the skyport. A couple of kids down on the beach wave up at it, seeming excited. The people arriving on that ship all have somewhere that they're planning to go when they get off, huh? They've all got people waiting to see them. What have I got? Some trash and an old scroll? So far, Wellington's given me nothing but questions. That never bothered me before in any of the other cities I've been to. So why now? I guess that's another question for the pile. I push myself off the railing and head back into town. I go through the motions of scouting for somewhere to rebuild my den, but my heart really isn't in it. After wandering for a while, I end up at the Bell House yet again. It's just the place I go when I have nowhere else to go. There are more customers than usual, so there are two people working behind the counter. It only takes a brief glance to notice that one of them is Aspen. Aspen. I wonder if she'll think I'd like a kiss chiller again. Or maybe I'll make a different sort of first impression today. The line moves pretty quickly. It helps that Aspen doesn't spill anything this time. When it's my turn to order, I step up to the counter with a fake smile.
Oh, hello. What can I make for you today? I'll have a fairy kiss chiller, please. Certainly. Good choice.
I reach for my wallet to pay, but she stops me.
Oh, don't worry about that. It's on the house today. Great! What does that mean? It means that you don't have to pay for it. As an apology for yesterday.
Yesterday? Why does that sound so strange? I nearly missed her talking, my mind having tripped over her words. She reaches for a cup, the pen already in her hand.
And that's for Miho, right?
What?
For Miho?
My name? She remembers my name? My heart begins to race wildly and my body just reacts as strongly as my mind does. Aspen frowns, clearly noticing that something's off. My head's in too much of a daze to deal with that, though.
It is Miho, right?
She checks the notebook on the counter, brow furrowing deeply as her finger slowly moves down the page, tapping on one of the lines. What do I say? How do I explain this? That for the first time in my life, for the first time in hundreds of years, somebody's remembered my name. It's not supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to be forgotten. Every time, without fail. It's my armor. It's my life. I take a step backwards. I have to run. I have to get out of here. I have to get away. But where to? I've been running. And I don't have anywhere else to run to. But I don't have any other choice. Without a plan or destination, I turn on my heel and bolt outside, not daring to look back. Everything's wrong. I have to go.
Miho!
She calls my name again as I disappear into the street. It's not the first time I've heard that as I've fled. But never like this. Never with such a confused, worried tone. Feeling sick to my stomach, I push myself to run even faster. Maybe I should just leave this whole city. Get on the next airship out of here and act like it never happened. I could go somewhere else, back to China or America again, and start over. Within days, it'd be like I never even came to Wellington. My life would go back to normal, and eventually I'm sure Aspen and Juliet would forget me just like they're supposed to. Nothing would be different. Except that's not quite true. I wouldn't forget what had happened here, even if everyone else did. No matter what, I'm sure I won't ever be able to get these past few days out of my mind. When I get to Mount Victoria, I finally stop running. Not because the place is special or because I wanted to come here, but because I don't know where else to go. I just make my way up to the top of the mountain, just like I did on my first day. View, which I admired so much the last time, doesn't do much for me now. Instead, the city looks cluttered and confused from up here. My chest hurts from running so long. I'm much more used to quick bursts of sprinting to get away from something or someone. I guess that's still what I'm trying to do right now. But I'm not too sure what it is that I'm running from. Whenever something goes wrong, my first instinct is to flee. Aspen remembering me definitely counts as something wrong. But when I stop to think about why, some of the reasons are obvious. Mostly, what if it's not just Aspen? What if everybody can remember me now? Or even worse, what if people who forgot about me a long time ago start to remember me? Both could get me in a lot of trouble. My days as a thief would probably be over. There are some places where I could never show my face again. The smart thing to do is to leave. I can even see a couple of airships at the skyport right now. I have everything with me. I could just go. There's nothing keeping me here. And yet, I don't move. I still don't even know what it is I'd be running away from. From Aspen? From Wellington? When I think about it, I'd have to admit that running wouldn't get me anywhere. This worry, these questions, would follow me wherever I go. No matter how far, no matter how long. So then, what do I do? The only answer I can think of is the scariest one. The one that goes against everything I have ever learned. Closing my eyes, I picture the library and Juliet's offer. I picture Aspen, whom I barely know, but who's already changed my life. Maybe I should stay and try to find out more. Maybe, just maybe, being remembered might not be all bad. I clench my fist so tightly my knuckles turn white. The urge to turn tail and head for the skyport is so strong, it's almost like a magnet pulling me there. I resist it, though. Slowly, I walk back down the mountain, making my way to the library. I'm not sure what to say when I get there. Explain everything to Juliet and hope she'll let me stay in the room again? I don't even need the room. I could rebuild my den and hide out there. Maybe in a new spot, one that Juliet doesn't know about. Not having to worry about the weather or other animals would be nice, though. There's no telling if Juliet will remember me, too. If not, it might just be easier to pretend this is my first time visiting so I could ask if there's anywhere I could stay. Even though I'm not moving very fast, I still don't feel very ready for the conversation by the time I reach the library's entrance. It's only been an hour or so since I left the Bell House, so it's not late enough for the library to be closed. The usual stream of people flows in and out the doors.
Okay, I can do this.
I stand off to the side of the entrance, preparing myself as people pass to and fro. My heart is racing the same way as it always does during a tense break-in. Maybe even harder. My tail twitches back and forth. Usually I don't notice, but right now I'm super aware of everything about myself. Fighting off my instincts, I open the door and let myself inside. I'd been expecting to have to look for Juliet, but instead she's right by the entrance. What surprises me most, however, is the woman leaning against the large desk beside her. Aspen, who's now engaged in a conversation with a look of deep concern on her face.
I wasn't there when I checked the bedroom. I wish she would have spoken to me first, at least.
I barely catch the end of Juliet's sentence. She notices me only moments after I spot her, and for a second her mouth forms a perfect O of surprise.
Juliet? What are you...
Aspen turns around to follow Juliet's gaze, and her eyes open wide at the sight of me.
Mio!
Ah, sorry, I'm Pretty Women. My brain goes blank, rehearsed lines flying out of my head.
Hey there.
I slink over to where they're standing, hands in my pockets. unsure what I should say first.
It's nice to see you again, Miho. I was hoping that you'd return.
So what is it that makes them different? Why do they remember her out of everybody? I mean, like, I'm not complaining, but like, right?
Me too. That was pretty sudden. I worked extra hard on that drink for you, you know.
I freeze up, looking for the words. Aspen's expression softens in concern.
Miho? Oh, right, the drink. I'm sorry. Well, I ended up drinking it myself, so I suppose I can't complain too much.
She laughs, and I can't stop myself from blurting out my next words.
You seem different. I'm sorry? Like, less polite? Well, I'm not at work anymore, am I?
What am I even saying? What was I planning on saying again?
Will you be staying for a while, Miho? If so, we can continue this conversation in the dining room. It's a bit more private there.
Thank you, Juliet. She sends me a raised eyebrow when I accidentally sigh in relief a bit too loudly.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great. I'm not gonna run away again.
I'm glad to hear that. Right this way, then.
Juliet leads the way down a hall and into one of the locked rooms. We enter a cozy little room with a table and a few chairs, as well as a fridge. The three of us sit down, although I move my chair so that I'm not as close to the others.
Can I get you anything to eat or drink, Miho?
I shake my head. I'm hungry, but I'm way too nervous to eat. Juliet smiles in response to my answer, which came a little too quickly to sound natural. But the way she and Aspen are looking at me, I can tell they're expecting me to say something first. None of the words that I planned are coming back to me. What do people even say in situations like this? The temptation to run away is overwhelming, the door just a few feet behind me. My knuckles whiten as I tightly clench my fists in my lap, pushing myself to resist the urge. I told myself that I'm gonna take this chance, even if it's the hardest thing I've ever done. I'm gonna be honest with them.
Well...
I struggle to think of what to say. Juliet waits patiently, her eyes gazing coolly in my direction. Or more than directly at mine. Aspen grows restless, however, her expression clouded with concern.
Sorry. I don't know how to just say things. I've only ever copied other people's, so I...
Aspen's expression clears up in some sort of understanding.
It's okay, Miho. Take your time. So I... don't really know how to... talk like this.
You're doing just fine.
If you say so. It's not just talking either. I don't know much about anything. Well, anything human. All I really know about is being a fox. And all we foxes care about is how to survive. It might be hard to believe, but I'm not a normal fox either. There's something kinda special about me. Kinda different.
I finger the beads around my neck. Their constant warmth and presence is reassuring. I avoid looking at either Aspen's or Juliet's faces. What else?
Usually, I have to steal to get by. I don't just have to, I like to. I'm good at it too. That's how I ended up meeting Juliet. And the reason I'm so good at it is because... I don't know why it happens, but ever since I got my human form, everyone forgets me. Even the people who catch me stealing from them. After a day or two, I can walk right past their face and they wouldn't even recognize me. No one has ever recognized me. Until Aspen remembered who I was at the Bell House. It was such a shock that I ran away. That's what I always do. I was thinking about leaving Wellington forever, even though I just arrived a couple days ago. I'm still kind of tempted, but Instead, I came back here. And that's it.
Just hearing the words coming out of my mouth makes me want to die of embarrassment. It makes me uncomfortable when other people think about me. And yet, putting everything out there feels surprisingly good. It feels like a weight has come off my shoulders. There's no going back now, and that's a relief in its own way.
So you're saying that you've never ever had a family? Or a friend? Nope, never. And not since I stopped being a regular fox, at least. Oh. I'm so sorry to hear that. Why? Well, because that's... not to be rude, but that sounds rather lonely to me. Lonely, huh? I've never thought about it before. I see.
Aspen sits back, still looking concerned. From the way she keeps fidgeting, I get the impression she wants to say more, but is holding it back. Juliet swoops in to salvage the situation.
You have been very brave to stay here, Miho. I'm personally glad that you decided to come back to the library. I had your room prepared in hopes that you would. You're welcome to use it for as long as you'd like. I think that we could become great friends.
Or a little more than friends, please.
Friends.
I roll the word around. I roll the word around in my mind as if it were a strange food I'm gingerly trying. Is that a word that fits me? Is that something I could have? It's never seemed like a possibility before. None of what Juliet's offered me has. Right now, it feels like I'm standing at the edge of one path and beginning another. I could go back and go the way I came. Back to the den and a life spent alone. I know that world. I've lived it for so many years. But I can't go back. Not now. Not when there can be something more. Something new. Everything could be different if I just let it. When I look at Aspen and Juliet, I can tell they're hoping I'll say.
I think I'd like that.
Oh my god. Big smiles take over both their faces. They're so pretty. Slowly I let myself smile too.
Well then, Miho. Welcome home.
Oh my gosh. And that's the end of the demo! Oh my gosh, thank you so much for playing the demo of Please Be Happy. We'd love to hear what you thought of our game. Please consider taking our very short feedback survey. We couldn't do this without you. Take care, stay safe, and please be happy. I'm gonna go ahead and open the survey in my browser, but oh my god. I'm gonna leave this screen up for a bit, and I'm gonna go through the feedback. I'm gonna make sure it's under the right account. There we go. Overall, which of these feelings best describes your feelings on the Please Be Happy demo? Very positive, neutral, negative, or very negative? I would say it's positive. What were your thoughts on the demo overall? Be as brief or detailed as you like. I can't type it because my keyboard went out. It happened earlier in the stream. I'm gonna skip any of the writing sections for now. How'd you feel? I'll go over them like with spoken thoughts in a bit. How did you feel about the writing in the game? This includes the stories, the characters, and the dialogue. I was positive about those, I believe. How did you feel about the art in the game? This includes the sprites, the CGs, and the backgrounds. Very positive. Oh. The artist went so hard for this. Like, it was so... it was just so good. I don't know who the artist is, but I would, consider, commissioning them. That's how good I thought the art was. How did you feel about the music in the game? The music in the game was great. I think it changed a bit much for my taste, but I think all the music is gorgeous. How did you feel about the technical aspects of the game? This includes the interface, map sprites, and anything else related to gameplay. Positive. It was fairly intuitive. How did you feel about the voice acting in the game? That I think is the only thing I would have gripes with. I'll say neutral on it, because Juliet's voice is great. Aspen's voice is great, but the line delivery is a little off on some of them. Like, you know, on the line where she's supposed to be talking too fast for Miho to even understand. That, I mean, it was well delivered, but it wasn't delivered correctly, if you know what I mean. And as much as I like Dadavu, I just don't think her delivery works for Miho. She sounds too unsure of herself the whole time. Maybe it's just because I would have directed it differently, because I think the voice type works, just the delivery of almost all of her lines just put me off, you know? Have you played any of the other games before? No, I have not played any of the other games before. Based on your experiences of the demo, would you be likely to purchase the full game? Yes, I would. I like Juliet a lot. Okay, I'm not sure if I'll be able to turn in the demo, but here's the spoken word / words supposed to be written sections. What were my thoughts on the demo overall? Be as brief or detailed as you like. I think it was a great playtime. I think it was about 2.5 hours of playtime, which I think is perfect for a demo, especially for, you know, a visual novel game like this. It went on a bit long, but that's only because it took a while to introduce, like, you know, the map and time aspects. I would have preferred to have one more, you know, day or like the map added in, so you get a better feel for, you know, missing out some events because you chose one thing. You know, weighing your options or deciding whose route to focus on. But again, it's a demo, so I can't request too much from them, right? I think everything was well paced. Everything was very well paced. I just think I don't know how to word it. The exploration, which I get it, she's a fox, of course. I just think it took a bit long. And maybe it's because I was reading it out loud and not like reading it in my head. It probably would have gone much faster if it was just in my head, probably 2 hours instead of 2.5. But I think the exploration was a little long and dragged on. Because I was actively looking for a point to be like, all right, let's stop here, but I made it through. Anyway, let's move on next part. Any comments you have regarding the writing? Text-wise, like dialogue itself, forget the voice acting, dialogue itself, I think Aspen and Juliet's dialogue is a bit similar. You know, like, it's, if you swapped who said what, for the most part, it would, you know, it wouldn't be out of character. Other than, like, the little bit of anxious moments when Aspen spills your drink. But I think it needs, I don't know, I feel like it needs to have a little bit more quirk to it. I don't know how you would implement that, but if you get what I mean. Otherwise, you know, besides trying to, I don't know, make their dialogue distinguishable, the writing itself was very good. I almost feel like Juliet should have a bigger vocabulary, use more big words, which you'd be able to play off, say, with Miho not knowing the words. You know, in line with the player probably not knowing the words. You gotta crack out of the thesaurus for it. But that's mostly my only concern with the writing. I think all of the thoughts that Miho has are perfect. They work for her as a character. All of her dialogue is pretty good as well. Any comments I have regarding the art? At certain points, it looks like, you know, a different artist stepped in to help with it, but that could be just, you know, an artist isn't gonna look 100% the same no matter the art, whatever. For the most part, nothing was jarring. Everything looked like it fit in the game. You could recognize all the characters. There were no obvious proportions that were off other than maybe the hand on Aspen, or the hand-arm on Aspen at the end there in the last CG. That was a little weird. But I loved all of the CGs of them together, you know, on their own. That was, oh my god, it was so cute. Like I would consider making them thumbnails. Like, that's how good they are. Any comments regarding the music? So I touched on this a little before. I think the music switches a little much, and I think by default it should be set quieter in regards to the voice acting. Because I think the whole time when I look back on this VOD, I'm gonna be like, oh, why didn't I turn down the music? It's overpowering the voice acting. So I wish by default it was a little bit quieter. It's great music, but I need to be able to hear the voice acting. And at times it was a little bit distracting. It doesn't need to be turned out by too much, but it does probably need to be turned down a little bit, which, yeah, I know, there's a menu. You can do that yourself, but I don't know, it would be quality of life to have it be quieter on default. Otherwise, all the music, for the most part, fit their situations. I can't think of a specific instance where the music didn't fit or the music was off. I'll just say that the one we're listening to right now, gorgeous. I would genuinely add this to a playlist. I would, you know? Any comments regarding technical aspects? I know it's a demo, obviously, so I'm gonna keep that in mind when saying these, but there weren't a lot of options. The story is very linear. You start, and no matter what, you're gonna end up at the same place. No matter who plays it, you're going to end up at the same ending. Which, again, demo, but it would have been nice that, again, for the writing, it would have been nice to have one more day or like a half day or something where you get to play around with you miss out on an event because you chose a different one, or, you know, dialogue trees. It doesn't have to lead to totally different ones, but at least give it like a little bit of dialogue options. They can all still be in character for Miho, but let us as the player be Miho. It feels like I'm watching an experience and not playing an experience, I guess I could say. Any comments regarding the voice acting? Okay, this is probably my biggest section for critique and thoughts. Juliet's voice is great. Great. Like, who's the voice actress for her again? Let me see. Shara Kirby. Shara Kirby? Let me Google for a sec. Shara Kirby. Oh, interesting. She's I think she's a black voice actress. I'm not sure. I think she's perfect for her. Let me listen to.
Hey, it's me. Your right eye.
I'm listening to her
My twin and I
demo
have-
reels on her website really quick.
Hello, this is Shara Kirby talking.
Right on.
Interesting. She's normally a lot higher pitched than she is as Juliet. Hi, Hoosier. You're a little late. I'm going over my thoughts on the game currently. The current section that I'm on is any comments regarding voice acting. So let me start over. With Juliet, her voice was great. It was really great. I couldn't think of any specific, I can't think of any specific moments where her voice acting stood out as odd, or, you know, parts that I was like, maybe we do a second recording of that one or something. Which as a voice actress, as someone who's not only done projects, but headed projects and been a voice director, I feel like I have, you know, stuff I can say on this that isn't just, you know, outside looking in. But overall, I was very, very pleased with Juliet's acting. I think that's part of what made me bond to her so much, other than just already loving her look. Aspen, coming up on Aspen, her voice actor is Anna Chloe Mori. Let me Google her as well right quick. I have things I can say about her. Let's see. Oh, she's got an IMDb. Really? She played Celestia / Princess Celestia in My Little Portal? Interesting. Very cool. I'm looking at her, really? She was in Pymations? Oh, okay. Nice. Anna Chloe Mori. I'm listening to her voice right now.
Spikes for arms. He's never been to trough water, but I don't know. He might be later today. We'll see.
What?
Nothing. Go train them. Go, go, go!
She said she's not booking a holiday this year because the Ice Age is
Okay, so I think that is her normal accent. Good. I'm glad. So I think that Juliet was, I think Shara Kirby put on an accent to do Juliet, but I think Aspen's is natural, I think. The voice type, perfect. Really fits her, I think. Some of the deliveries were off, though. I mentioned the big one before, but also I couldn't hear a difference at the end between her, like, customer service barista voice and her little more rude, not as polite, one at the end. I mean, main character remarks on it, so I think it would be nice to, you know, have it be something you can physically hear. I'm trying to think of any other, like, specific instances where, you know, it would need changing or thoughts on it. Generally, it was pretty good, I think. I will leave my critique there for it. Again, it's just a demo. I'm not sure what they've done in the full game. But let me move to Miho's voice actress, Dodovu. Now, you've probably heard of Dodovu before. I would say that she's, I don't know, pretty famous on YouTube? Surprisingly not famous on Twitter, ? She has 300,000 subs. Let me see, what's her most popular video so that people might, like, recognize her? Bitch Lasagna, Oboe cover. Oboe, what's this? Yandere Boy, Japanese voice acting practice. Hide and seek Japanese voice acting practice. Just like, she's got multiple videos of over 1 million views. So, I think you would recognize her if you look up Dotovu. Dottovu. She's on YouTube. But let me go back to talking about her. Her voice itself, like the voice type, it can match Miho. There's nothing wrong with her voice type. Personally, I would not have gone for something like that, but again, that's personally. I did enjoy her voice. It doesn't quite match the look of the character, in my opinion, but I do think that she made it work for her, I think. But the problem is, despite, like, making it work for her, her line delivery was off the mark a lot of the time. She was very slow in delivering her lines. There were too many pauses. It sounded like she was either reading it for the first time or was unsure of herself, or which for some of the lines it worked beautifully. But Miho is a character, in my understanding, who's been around for hundreds of years. She's practiced things however many times you can practice something in 100 years with no one remembering who you are. She would have this down to a science. She wouldn't be so unsure. It felt like it was two different kind of personalities. Miho, the confident thief, and Miho, the unsure, I don't know, schoolgirl. Which I don't think worked. That's why I'm so hesitant to like say I like the voice, because I did. I enjoyed the voice for the voice. But the voice sound was okay. The voice delivery was not. I would say if it wasn't a, we're live coaching, live directing, I would do that in the future, a live direction. And again, this is just my thoughts on it, but I would have her re-record the lines. But again, this is a small studio, so I can't say, oh yeah, this is imperative. No, it's not. It's not. This is my personal opinion. I just personally don't like the voice because it took a while to get through. It felt dragging almost at sometimes. I almost wanted to like click through her dialogue after reading it for myself. But there were times like, I mean, even then it was a little slow, but when she was talking to the older man on her way up the mountain during the, trying to pass the time, I believe, I thought that was nice. I think I'm remembering it quite correctly. That was about like an hour ago, but I liked that. That was probably my favorite part of her voice acting, was her interacting with the older man. It sounded like she was having a little more fun. She didn't sound uncomfortable. Oh my god, that's it. She sounded uncomfortable. That's what it is. Okay, let me move on from this section. I don't need to harp on Dadoru anymore. I'm sure she's extremely sweet, and she doesn't need my critique. I'm nobody. Who was your favorite character if you had one? Absolutely Juliet. Juliet is my favorite character. Followed up by... Actually, no. I do want to say, if you weren't here to see it earlier, there was an interaction when you went to the beach before the old man cutscene, whatever. Old man, he's like 50. Where you're on the beach, mother's lost her child, and you see the child with like this little fabled creature. It looks like a little flower fair kind of thing. That scene was really well done. That was peak writing right there. Really, really well. I know it was a sensitive topic, so it was probably going to like affect me, but I still felt like I was going to cry. So I think that was really, really well done. Anyway, favorite character is Juliet, absolutely, hands down. Like, at first I was like, oh, but Aspen's really cute, But no, hands down, not even a contest. Not even a contest, Juliet. She's hot, she's got a hot voice. I would call her ma'am. It's a fair critique. You don't mean to discourage, you want to improve. Yeah, exactly. Like, I know she's been voice acting for a long time, so she has no reason to listen to me. But I don't know, I want to share my thoughts on it as someone who is playing the game and has the background in voice acting. Like, I know I do a lot of the same thing as her. I get into that, like, little funk with the voice, I talk like I'm in an anime. And I couldn't help but think that the entire time I listened to her, was she sounds like I did when I started voice acting. Where, you try too hard to make yourself expressive and you forget. You play the character too hard and you forget to be the character, I guess. But I don't know. She's I need to stop talking about her. I need to move on. Do you have any suggestions or features that you'd like to see included? Dialogue trees, please give us dialogue trees. I don't know if it happens in the full game, but it feels so linear. I have the same exact experience as any other person playing this demo. Please, let me explore dialogue options. They don't have to be a lot of them. You can give me 2, 3 options that lead to the exact same thing. Just let me say something different. Let me feel like I'm putting in input. Again, it feels like I'm watching a story and not playing a story. If any additional comments or questions here, optional. If you're okay with us reaching out for more insight, please leave your email address. This is not required to complete the survey. I wish I could. My keyboard is fucking... Ugh. Okay, wait, hold on. I am going to link this stream in the survey, and I'm going to put this timestamp for where I start talking about all this in here, because, again, my keyboard is... I can't... You can hear me pressing on it right here. If you weren't here earlier, if you don't mind donating, any amount helps, literally any amount. I would be so fucking thankful. My keyboard dock died on stream, which means it killed my access to my mouse. It killed my access to my keyboard. What else is plugged in? What is that? That is my access to my camera, which I use for tracking. Yeah, it did not go well. I spent about 10 minutes trying to get things. I ended up plugging my mouse into the front of my computer itself. I had to unplug a few other things, and so I just currently don't have access to a keyboard, so any amount helps to get this thing replaced, because oh god, I did not realize how expensive it was. Anyway, that is why I'm unable to write them down as part of the feedback. So I'm gonna submit my video and timestamp it to where I started, you know, giving my feedback, and hopefully they'll listen to it. They don't have to. They have no obligation to. They don't need to, you know. But I don't know. I want to give them feedback because I enjoyed the game and I want to see the studio improve, I guess. Anyway, since I do not have a keyboard, I think I will probably end this for no. I might go to chatting just briefly. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna go to chatting just briefly. All right, let me hop in there. Hi, we're here now. Let me replace my chat. Oh my god. Not having my copy paste is so not great right now. I think I had fun playing that. There were hiccups in between, but you know what? I had a good time. It was a good experience. And for the most part, it was there was nothing bad, right? There was nothing like wrong. You know, I didn't have any technical difficulties, no saves got deleted or anything, which obviously, what was I thinking this would be? I wish I had donated it. I know I do. I have to have I think 1,000 for that. I have a Ko-fi down below if you want to check the description. I have Ko-fi down there. And it will appear in the new donation thing above my head. But again, you're not obligated to. It would just be really nice and helpful if possible. Oh no, this is, I didn't even think about this. I have to record and I can't press record on my keyboard. Oh boy. Thank you, Hoosier. I hate like begging for it, but genuinely I cannot use my keyboard, and like you just heard me realize I need to use my keyboard, and I don't know how I'm gonna connect my keyboard. Maybe I need to pull my PC up onto my desk and like put it in the corner over there or something. I don't know how to connect my keyboard to my computer so I can use it. It's just sitting here right now. It's decoration. Maybe I'll be able to pull it up and onto the desk. I'll have to clear off my desk. This would happen on stream to me. Oh boy. It's okay. I don't need a keyboard to play Plants vs. Zombies, of which I will be playing soon. Oh, speaking of playing, and I'm not actually speaking of playing, if you want to hop onto my channel real quick and go to videos, videos, then you click the drop down and go to Actually, no, it'll be on videos normal. You'll see an upcoming Notify Me premieres 6:30 for me, 12 p.m. If you want to watch that when it comes out, I worked really hard on it and spent money to get that art done. And it's really cute. And I'm really happy. It turned out so well. But for real though, you should watch that cover when it comes out. I worked so hard on it. You've heard a little bit of it before, I believe. This is the Toa no Kizuna cover. I downloaded a new editing software just so I could finish the video. Just so I could finish the video. I think I did well with it for it being my first time using it. I think. Anyway. I don't know what to do now. I've finished the demo. I don't know how to feel. I feel like, I guess, satisfied because I completed it, but at the same time, it's not like satisfaction. I'm happy that I've completed it, and I have that sense of completion, I guess. Sorry, I opened my phone to see a message that did not make sense. What? So I was gonna take a friend to work, and then I was like, hey, yo, question, could I take it, could I take you in early? And then they didn't respond until like 2 hours ago, after the time which I needed to take them to work, and was like, it's okay, I don't work tomorrow. Bitch, I was talking about today, huh? I was talking about today! And of course that's already after the time which I needed to take them in. It's things do be. Things just be. It's funny. Anyway, how's things going? I see there's like 4 of you here. More people than there were here for the entirety of the game. What's up? How y'all doing? Y'all came a little late. Welcome. I'll have a timestamp in the comments after the stream finishes for my thoughts on the game that you can listen to. I'll need the timestamp for myself as well, but like, not here nor there. But how we doing? How we doing, guys? Kofi won't let you pay? Oh no. Let's see. Actually, what is my description? Hold on. Let me pull up my own stream for a second here. If you go all the way down, there's the Ko-fi, but there's also Venmo and Cash App, which, again, do not feel obligated to donate, but it would be very helpful, and literally any amount helps. It won't show up on stream, but I will see it at least. Again, I feel bad for, like, begging and asking for it, but replacing the stock is probably gonna be at $150 or something. And that's a painful amount of money. That's like half this month's work for me. No. But if you can, even $1, honestly. Anyway, my plans for this week. You already heard me say it, but I plan to play Plants vs. Zombies, which, how many views did that one get, actually? Plants vs. Zombies? Almost 1,000. That's insane. And that was after I'd initially streamed it. Like, huh? So I should have played it back when I got all, like, the popularity, whatever, from streaming it, back when it got all the clicks and views, but I didn't. So I'm doing it now. I'm gonna play Plants vs. Zombies. Actually, let me see. Do I have anything on my schedule? Because I haven't made my schedule for this week, right? Of course. I will probably do it tomorrow. I'm thinking about 8 o'clock my time. You'll find out. If you're in my Discord server, you'll find out. Speaking of which, that's something I need to add to the description, is my Discord server. If you're not in my Discord server, not to tell you to click off the video or anything, but head to the Minecraft with You stream from 5 days ago. You'll see Discord link at the top of the description, and it will be the first link you see. Discord.gg/whatever. But it is 5 o'clock now, and my goddess tummy is rumbling. I'm hungry and also thirsty. I've been out of water for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and go and eat something. So, closing time. Thank you for being here. Even if you showed up late or just stopped in for a minute to see what was going on. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on the stream. Thank you for taking time out of your day today on this normal Tuesday. I don't know what's going on today. But thank you for being here and interacting with me. I hope to see you at a later stream. And I hope you had fun while you were here. It was a good time. So, thank you and bye.